I should probably log into League of Legends PC Edition 2009.
Yeah. Might help. Well, the stream is live, by the way, so just keep that
Oh,
in mind.
nice.
Oh, that's quite loud.
I'm hard stuck diamond in LOR. I can't climb past it. Doesn't matter what deck I play, I'm sad.
Oh, LOR.
Yeah.
For some reason, you said LOR, like very clearly. Those were words I heard. But I was thinking TFT, and then you said deck, and I was immediately confused again.
Ah. Yeah, I've been diamond in TFT one set, and I never wanted to work that hard again. Okay, hard is... I never wanted to spend that much time grinding the same TFT game loop. So... I like messing around and making my own comps, being funny, and you can't climb to it.
You just have to be good at making your comps.
Sort of. If you want to be making your own comps and not running like most of the meta carries, you have to hit the carries that people aren't playing, but in a time frame that your bad opener doesn't leave you at 48 HP in stage 3.
Just, I mean, now you can just take Cruel Pack every time and just start the game at 6 HP every single game. Live on the edge.
Play better, win more. Oh, we're drafting. Okay.
Well, that's nice.
That happened fairly quickly. We have a Kane ban. That's neat. Hopefully that's targeted.
I'm gonna put that on the stream in like just a second. But
neat.
I'm not really like emotionally prepared for this. So
that seems reasonable. They've banned Ivern, so, and we banned Talia. Huge fan. Oh, right, this isn't Star Nemesis. Okay, I was so confused for a second.
No, this is definitely not Star Nemesis, in fact.
Ban Lilia, big money.
Oh man, the scoreboard is a wreck. You guys let me produce this video game by myself? Okay, there we go. I don't even know if I care to do an introduction, but I can. This is Metashift Radon Division Float Week 1, which basically means that we had 2 double weeks and we got to schedule them. Very fun. This is Return of the Middlesticks Crowstorm taking on VITL Gaming. VITL Gaming is a noble team, which means that they have different roster rules than we do, and they can have better players than we can. So that's really cool, and I think really interactive for the whole tournament scene. But other than that, it's going to be pretty fun. And yeah, there's a lot of jungle bans happening. The Talia is mid-targeted, is something I know. But yeah, Kane Nocturne, Lilia Ivern not going to be played, neither will LeBlanc, and now Radon has a first pick that, I mean,
Surfing.
Who really knows? I really hope not. I would
it's
feel
Radon.
like I'm watching Star Nemesis.
We're B1 Seraphine every game.
Everyone loves Seraphine, and I just It's like my own personal hell. My teams love B1 Seraphine, and I hate Seraphine as a champion and a person. Yeah. Well, Kaisa.
Well,
is
instead
the
we're
first
living
pick.
in the good timeline where it's Kaisa. Bear? Bear?
Bear R1.
I'm actually a massive fan of Volibear in all aspects. Huge player for Volibear here. So
Yeah, something else about these Metashift drafts is they seem completely random. The Kaisa R1 or B1 actually makes some semblance of sense given like typical drafting everything, but yeah, we're off the script already. R1, and we'll continue to probably go further. Actually, Ashe is a pretty good champion right now. I don't hate that. You get the Freljord synergy as well.
yeah,
so
Freljord
you do-
champions only.
Yeah, so you do 5% true damage at like 5 seconds in, and we're getting Tree and Urgot. Let's fucking go. Okay, I actually like that a lot from Radon. Revnon's really good on Urgot, and the fact that they didn't target ban him at all and let him have his Urgot is great for Radon. And then Puppy GF just plays Tree Champions and Lilia, so there's a Tree Champion. We did it.
Yeah, Feywild Forest guy here with the tree, original tree, not newfangled tree. Also, original tree, very good character right now. So
Has been nerfed very slightly. The Kindred character got nerfed as well, just very slightly, but still probably pretty good. That's picked up for VITL for Champion God. Oh, actually, they might not be in order. I shouldn't really.
I don't know if they are or not.
Well,
I would be spectating right now, but unfortunately I'm playing mid lane for Team VITL, so because I can't enter the spectate. So I'm down for that. It's been a while since I clowned on X-Craze in mid, since the last in-house, I think.
I have nothing to add about that.
He died at like level 2. It was fun. Sejuani banned no Lux from the side of Return of the Middlesticks seems valid. Don't like that character. Unless I'm playing it, of course.
Why are we banning such? So Maokai is like almost 100% jungle. I think
they're
maybe Stevie
protecting
plays
the
it.
Maokai support. Maokai Kaisa not bad. Maokai
Yeah.
support also just not bad right now. Plus Sedge and Mumu always annoying champions. So hey, if you don't want to see them in your game, don't let them be picked.
I just don't know that you really needed to 4-ban the jungler when there's already a jungler picked. But, you know, what do I know? This is why I'm not Diamond or...
Want to dodge skill shots, don't get hit by them.
I still can't get over Emerald tier.
I'm not a huge fan of that either.
Yeah, 4 bans for the E3 jungle, and I just have no concept of what an E3 jungler is, other than, you know, the game showcase in Los Angeles. Melee.
I was gonna say you're. Oh yeah, no, we've got the fire Spaniard. Is he Spanish or Mexican? I have
Emilio
no idea.
Messi! He's Argentinian.
Oh fuck. Right. Yeah. True. All right. Well, E3 is up from the E4 Mafia, so
Yeah,
we have
X-Craze
our
locks in his
military
Syndra.
humor.
There will be balls today.
All of the comedy bases are being covered within the first 10 minutes of the cast. That's how you know we're professionals. We do our jobs well. You have your bone jokes, you have your snail jokes, and the comedy bases are covered.
Leona hovered? That would kind of make sense. Some sort of follow-up engage on top of the Maokai. Nautilus. Valid. Nautilus Kaisa, of course, El Clasico. And
Yeah, does something
Emilio-
similar.
Not as good at disrupting Nautilus as Leona. Because Leona, you knock her out of her E and it just doesn't do anything, but at least the Nautilus hook you get a little bit of value out of and usually pull them into auto range anyway. And Galio is the last pick, which I don't hate, honestly. There's a lot of protection given the Kindred ult and the Galio ult and the Melio ult.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be very tough to dive this team. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for Radom, that's kind of what they want to do.
Sort of. Yeah, it's interesting. We've got a couple different funny rock paper scissors moments here.
You can
Like
Oh, now you can't.
Urgot Kindred is funny. I would love to.
Yeah,
I'm
you
spamming
had
it.
like a brief second, and then it was over. There was no, yeah, there was no spot for him to move to, but Oath TFT player. Oh, X-Craze is attributing the wrong game. This is...
Well, I did win. I did win with back-to-back 9 light in the GRLCS TFT circuit in set 1. So
I actually entered and won the GRLCS TFT circuit.
I do
on
remember
accident
that.
Because I had to cover for somebody who didn't show up, and I was the
And you were the organizer. Yeah.
And then I just beat a bunch of people who were much higher ranked than I was, so that was very fun.
Yeah, it was hilarious. There was one of those funny jokes. I think X-Craze was the one who made it about how you were just farming like any reasonable amount of competition for yourself for the final tournament of the circuit.
Yeah, I just had 2 kind of lucky games, honestly. And that was all it took. Allvander, who was on the cast last week, noted enchanter player, just sent me a Melio detected, and it's Marge Simpson holding Melio, and it just says, I just think they're neat. Yeah.
Can you please send me this? I need to add this to the collection. This is important.
Shout out to Allvander for his acceptance of Melio. Yeah,
Fantastic.
100% Argentinian. We'll hear no other argument.
You won't, because I won't be arguing.
Well, this is float week 1, which is approximately the week between week 4 and week 5, if you were scheduling them in the order that they are on the schedule, which is very confusing. The next game we have scheduled is float 2, but we might put week 5 in between the 2. So this could just be a very busy week or 2 for Crowstorm, and then after that they're back to 1 game a week of smooth sailing. Also very fun in terms of our schedule is we play all the Noble teams back to back. So we had one in week 1, and then now we've got the next 3 are all Noble teams, and then we'll get to end the season with the Radon teams.
Okay, cool. So, can you explain to me that concept?
No, but I'll do my best.
Fair.
Basically, they didn't have enough teams to make one combined division, so instead they were like, which I think is the greater of 2 evils, personally. You had 2 choices, right? You had 2 separate 4-team divisions, or a 4 and a 5 team, I think, and you just play double round robin, which makes the most sense to me. But instead they chose the greater of 2 evils, which was that they just combined the 2 and you play a single round robin. Now what this does is this means that because we're stuck on roster rules that are completely different from the team that we're playing against, we can't have as high ranked players. I could go and call up a couple of my GM friends and we could hit the... I don't really have GM friends, but I'm assuming I could find somebody who'd be willing to play. But you could theoretically meet the Noble roster requirement for the games and be on even terms, but we're just inherently disequal in this game, and that's the same with every Radon versus Noble game. This is something that all the Radon teams have to deal with for some reason. So far, Radon teams are 1 and 12 versus Noble teams, as you would expect. Shout out to Mint for actually getting a win. It was against the team that we were up 10k against in game 1, and then kind of through, but it happens, you know.
Mint detected.
So, well, then we 2-0'd Mint, so who are they really?
Valid.
But,
So are they actually requiring Radon teams to stick with the Radon roster
Radon
requirements?
teams have to have
or-
the Radon roster requirements for the whole season. I think it would have been more fair to allow us to have Noble Division requirements for the Noble games. Or, like I said, just play a double round robin. Like, why
Okay,
is...
so are they doing it just for the regular season, and then the Radon tournament will finish
Yeah,
out
so-
with just the Radon teams?
Yes.
Okay, I kind of get
But
that, but also
Your
why?
standings are based on all the games, right?
Yeah, your
So,
record including the Noble games.
If the
Weird.
Noble teams just throw, which they could do, like I don't know why they would exactly. All the Noble teams are guaranteed playoffs already because it's a 14 playoff. But we have 5 teams in our division. You could theoretically throw and get one of the Radon teams knocked out if you just decide to for some reason, and it has no effect on
Right.
your own standings, but it affects somebody else. It's a very strange setup. VITL has a lot of pixels in their logo. That's also true. It was larger, which is so. A lot of times when I bring in the logos, they're just so fucking gigantic. But this one actually wasn't that big, so I'm just assuming it's not very high quality, and they just gave somebody a really small logo. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to talk too much more. I could go on and rant for forever about the Radon Noble split, because I think that that's just kind of bad tournament design, but at the same time, I very much appreciate that Metashift continues to throw on tournaments, and I don't want to be too mean to them, because I like them as people and appreciate the tournament that they put on, because it allows opportunities for different rankings of people to play together.
Yeah, I mean, no hate to tournament organizers in any. It's more academic because as somebody who used to do tournament organization, it's a weird one. It's one of those weird situations. Is like, how do we create the best quality tournament we can with the few people who actually showed up? Having less people than we expected for splits happened quite a few times when I still ran tournaments. So.
But yeah, I don't. Some of the lower, and it's also weird because like the 2 lowest Noble teams, I don't necessarily mind playing. I think it's like, still inherently unfair in a tournament setting given the roster rules. But at the same time, like they're not that much higher. It's good practice, whatever. But this is also not a very serious team, so we're not. This isn't our big competitive team. Most of these guys are playing in other teams that they prefer, or are putting more bucks, more thought, more energy into.
Makes sense.
So at the end of the day, I just want it to be fun for them, and I think that having inherent rank differences is not particularly fun and not something that I wanted to sign them up for, and yet I did. So I hope that they'll go back and watch and listen to me apologize and heartfelt on my knees, because legitimately, this group of 5 people, this is their second game together.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
And
here
we go, the 5-stack invade into the 5-stack invade in the top lane.
Is one of these gonna be a defensive 5-stack, or are they both just gonna run into?
No, it's
each
a
other?
defensive 5-stack from
Oh,
VITL.
boy.
It's just a mess. It's first blood immediately as Stebby falls. She was the one that had to lead the charge in. Puppy Jeff flashes over the wall. That's going to be it. That could have gone much worse, honestly, the way that that's set up.
No, this is actually like sort of best case scenario. Your mid laner and your your ADC both still have flash. Your top laner has ghost. Like this went fine.
Yeah, you lost your jungle flash and you lost a death on your support.
And you didn't burn any sums,
Yeah.
but honestly, that's okay.
And Kindred didn't get a stack. I don't know that Stebby would have been able to. Like, you got Galio taunted into...
Oh no, I mean,
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, VITL didn't use any sums,
yeah.
but...
No, that is a little unlucky. I'm frozen at 130. I don't know if that's...
I am also frozen exactly at 130, so...
I was told... I'm actually just... We're going to pause here in 3, 2, 1. I was told to pause for like 10 to 15 seconds, and then the game should just run smoothly the whole time. I don't know if I believe that, but we're going to try it. I'm at 140 right now.
I'm not at 140. I stayed paused at 130.
Oh. Well, why don't you go 10 seconds forward to 140, pause it, and then we'll start together, and then we'll just be even the rest of the game, maybe?
Yeah, I can do that. That
Okay.
seems fine. And I'm paused at 140, looking
Okay.
at Kindred on red buff.
All right. Perfect. 3, 2, 1, resume. And
NA
then
production. Money.
we'll see if we stay synced up. That's the rumor.
Yeah.
This is the rumor from Puppy GF, so we'll have to trust her.
So this is an interesting top lane matchup because there are very few characters who outbully Bear early, and if you play it correctly and you time the shield right, Urgot's one of those characters.
Yeah, Urgot pretty good early on. As long as he can stay out of range of some of the champions up there that do a lot. Ooh, that was a pretty unlucky little miss from Stebby. That could have been a really big trade. Instead, it's just an okay trade. I don't know if Kale is coming through over the mic. He has a ball, and he would like everyone to know that.
He comes through on like some of the more energetic parks, but I mean it's valid. He has a ball.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, I don't know if he intended to cancel that or if he was just comboing, but that was kind of clean from X-Craze. I'll give him benefit of the doubt and say he meant to do that. The Elo IRS going in for a little trade.
Whenever I kind of like that.
Yeah.
The Elo IRS.
It took me a second to realize what it was. I'll be honest, because I loaded it and I was like, Eloris? No. Elo IRS.
Whenever it comes to X-Craze on Syndra specifically, I usually give him the benefit of the doubt. He's crazy good at this champion.
A little invade from Champion God, and Revnon's under tower, which means can't really come to the aid, but X-Craze can. So this is shaping up to be a 3v2 that I don't know that they'll VITL necessarily want. Slow doesn't land onto Champion God. He's got the flash. Elo IRS has already burned his flash. He'll get flipped in and taken down by Revnon to even up the kill count.
A real nice
staying
hook in the
on
bot
the
lane.
Nightmare.
Stebby.
Gets the little passive daunt, but the healing from the warm hugs of sets. I can't say that sentence.
No. Go ahead. There it is.
Okay,
yep.
yeah.
At this point, like anytime we run into one of these, you just gotta lean into it. You don't really have any other good options. Otherwise, you just refer to everybody else as their name and then say Milio, and you're like, it's very clear you're intentionally avoiding it.
Yeah, it's just one of those that sometimes you start a sentence and you're like, this is turning out not the way that I wanted it to, and you just accept that, I guess.
That happens to me a ton when I have to DM D&D games. Because improving and sounding good are very difficult to do at the same time.
I'm actually pretty impressed by Axe and Stebby thus far. They've done pretty well in this lane. I think they're pretty... I don't want to say significantly outranked, but they are definitely outranked in this bottom lane specifically. So something to keep an eye on if they continue to hold even. That's a really good sign for Radon.
Yeah, definitely. It helps sometimes when it does help being the more autonomous lane playing Kai'Sa Nautilus. You do get to dictate a little bit more, at least in the laning phase. But yeah, being able to hold even is very important.
Revnon with that Tiamat is just stacking up damage. Elo IRS has to be pretty careful. He's going to get a shield here in just a second. Revnon, I don't know that he necessarily needed to back off. He's just fighting into the minion wave. Oh, the big heal. Actually, maybe he should have been
he's got
a little bit more careful. But he's got the flip and the
Yep.
solo kill on the top lane. And the Revnon fans already going crazy in chat. That's sure to make him happy.
That's really well done. Because, I mean, you've got several opportunities there if you're Elo IRS to back off, but that's the thing is, like, if you do land that E, then you just get the solo kill for sure. So, I mean, yeah, if you're a top laner who likes coin flipping, like me, you go for those, and sometimes you don't win them.
A little gank opportunity now for Puppy GF into the bottom lane. Nightmare and... Oh, that was such a good knockback from the Melio, but he gets caught by the hook anyway, and Stebby is going to finish him off with the Ignite. Good root onto Nightmare, flash over the wall. Axe is an alcove gamer, but he gets taken down by the volley, and now Nightmare is just going to get beat to death by two beefy guys.
Yeah, it's a good gank in the bot lane. Unfortunate that Axified dies there. Not really a situation where cleanse would have been helpful, but yeah, you don't lose out on too much. And now, you know, an early gold infusion into Maokai is never bad.
Yeah, I don't hate the cleanse just to cleanse Assault and potentially like Galio uh, taunt or Volibear. Like there's opportunities later on. It's just not super high value in lane right now, which kind of sucks because I think if he has heal, he's fine in that particular situation, but nothing you can do about that. So
Yeah, I mean,
4-2.
Heal has just been losing stocks for, uh, 2 seasons now, 3 seasons.
Yeah. 4-2 for Return of the Middlesticks, about a 1,000 gold lead. I don't want to say surprisingly, but sometimes you have to throw that out there. Revnon 2-0. Only got boots off of that last kill, so not the biggest back in the entire world, but now can maybe chase down the Elo IRS.
Yeah, he's sitting on about 600 though, which means he's not far off of his first spike. Urgot, one of those interesting characters where you just don't buy a mythic for like the first 25 minutes of the game.
The stun didn't land onto the Kindred. In comes the Galio ult to try to save everyone. Taunt from Hamlet? I hadn't quite decided yet. Oh, the Grinder pulls Kindred out of her own ultimate. And now a 3v2. ROTM has this better health bars. Elo Iris falls down. The double kill for Revnon, and Hamlet falls for the triple. 5-0 on the Urgot. It's the Revnon show.
Yeah, that's man, that's so cool. So I didn't get to talk about it because I got distracted, but in Champ Select I was mentioning we've got a couple different fun rock paper scissors situations here. You pick Kindred into Urgot, but you also pick Urgot into Kindred, and that's the situation. If you're not standing in the Lamb's Respite, it doesn't exist. It's not. It's fake. It's a fake ability.
Well, now he is definitely a bit ahead. 4,000 gold compared to 2,300 for Elo IRS, and that is one scary motherfucker in the top lane playing the Urgot right now. Stebby
Yeah,
and Axe.
he's only got 2k. He's richest man on the map.
Yeah, Stebby and Axe is going to get a little damage done. Oh, the hook from Stebby just goes a little bit wide. Champion God is here, so they have to be very careful about how this one goes. The Ash ult used into the super mega fire kick, and Nightmare is going to take the kill in the bottom lane. Humiliate. I'm assuming it's Hamlet. I haven't actually looked at this yet. Hamlet? Sure.
Looks like it. That's yep.
Okay. Well, until I'm corrected, we'll try to go with Hamlet, but I'll probably fuck it up because the eye is
Interestingly enough,
sitting
Puppy
there.
Girlfriend is
Go ahead.
he's only 500 behind Revnon, which is kind of surprising. Assists go Burr,
Yeah,
I suppose.
First Dragon gonna go the way of VITL off of the play in bottom lane. Revnon just has complete control of that top lane right now, so he just walks in and does Rift Herald. Axe has to use his dash to get away, as Stebby had gone to try to escort Champion God out of their jungle and make sure that didn't have any designs on that red buff.
Let's see. Do a quick mark check. We're at 2.
2.
That could be better, but it could be worse.
Yeah, I feel like that's just kind of average.
I have seen 19-minute 0 mark Kindred, unfortunately. So
yeah, we've also unfortunately seen like 6 mark 10-minute Kindred. So sometimes
at that point, that's a go next angle.
X-Craze getting ganked in the mid lane. Hamlet with a taunt into Champion God's damage. Doesn't quite have enough. Oh, that was actually very close. I wasn't narrating it because I didn't think that he had the extra damage, but almost pushed it all the way through Champion God. So, I guess worth damage checking yourself.
Yeah, would have forced out the ultimate had we gotten quite there. It's Titanic Hydra at 10 minutes for Revnon. Funny, has the Eye of the Herald as well. So we're about to be a very rich gentleman. Well, we're already, but more so.
Yeah, sacrificed a decent chunk of his CS to actually grab that Rift Herald, so really looking forward to cashing that in, you would assume. I'll be interested to see if he just uses it to solo push his top lane, or if he just takes a little jaunt mid and tries to roam with it. Given Revson's playstyle, I think he's just going to try to punish Elo IRS for taking a bad back and just break the tower immediately and go somewhere else after that. Puppy GF going to throw the Nature's Grasp into mid lane, flash away. Ooh, doesn't quite get him out of range, but that's apparently not the most interesting thing happening on the map. But Hamlet did flash. I don't know why I'm trying to go humiliate. That's like not a thing.
It seems kind of humiliating.
It really is.
I'll show myself.
Didn't quite get the stun, but did get the knockback. So Hamlet just a little unperturbed under tower. Revnon does drop the Rift Herald just in top lane, just to crash into the tower. And Elo IRS actually is ahead in CS now after receiving that last wave underneath the tower. Ooh, X-Craze, this is getting into the danger zone for Hamlet. Another ability or two, and you could definitely just throw that ult in. If one were interested in that sort of thing. Oh, the Ash ult just sails a little bit wide. That stun duration seemed fake. But now X-Craze in a little bit of trouble. Teleport coming in just to help him out from Revnon. Make sure that there's no dive. As Stebby and Puppy GF are also here, so Champion God does not want anything around that mid lane right now.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's fake, but you are also looking at Merc Treads on Hamlet already, so early Merc Treads is gonna keep him fairly safe.
Yeah, it just felt like it didn't stun at all. Anyway, teleport to the bottom lane actually from Hamlet, trying to turn this one onto Stebby. The Justice Punch into the taunt. Oh, the flash, just not quite the right timing on that one to get away from everything, and Hamlet will finish off the kill. So it was a big fight around the Rift Herald, gave ROTM the early lead, but it's been good counter punches thus far from VITL as they've hung in there, weathered the storm, and haven't really lost a huge amount of gold since then. So this is going to be the first big exchange where Revnon takes down the entire turret in the top lane, plus all of the plates, and he'll be feeling... he's already really rich, but now he's even richer. Axified goes in looking for Nightmare. Ooh, the snare isn't quite there from Puppy GF, just not quite the long enough angle, and Nightmare is able to get out with just the Ghost.
Yeah, I didn't quite anticipate how close to the tower she'd end up.
Axe is willing just to scrap with Set Smegma here. Stebby and Puppy GF are in the area, now gets spotted on the ward, so he'll have to back away from that particular engagement, but he was winning it. The Melia 1v1, not exactly something I had counted on. And now another teleport into the bottom lane. Elo IRS is looking for Axe. He can turn the tower off, dive away, but Axe just plays safe. I feel so bad for Axe. He's farming really well, and he just, the 2 times that he's died have been really weird, like little interchanges where he didn't necessarily have to die, but now RTM looking to contest this dragon. X-Craze and Puppy GF here, stun only onto Hamlet. Yeah, it was just kind of a fake contest the whole way, but they've gotten time for Revnon to push through this top lane tower.
Meanwhile,
he just killed it. It's gone.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, I mean the early pushing power for Urgot at any time past level 9 is not to be trifled with.
Yeah. Some of these big first item completions coming through. You have the Ludens for X-Craze, Static Shiv for Axe, Demonic Embrace for Puppy GF. It's good spikes right now from ROTM. It's good times for the next minute or two before all of the items get completed for VITL. X-Craze, big stun onto Champion God. They're really looking for this Kindred in all of this mess, but in comes Elo IRS to make it an uneven situation, and VITL picks up an extra kill. Stebby and Axe just joining up with Puppy GF to try to get some of these members of VITL out of their jungle. Hook from Stebby lands onto Elo IRS. They have the CC. Do they actually have the damage, though? Elo IRS still alive with that shield, and he'll stay alive thanks to the Lamb's Respite. Hamlet gets pulled out and back into the grinder as Revnon has showed up and made his presence known. Champion God falls, and Axe stayed alive through all of that and picks himself up a double kill. Welcome to the game,
Axe. Good
Axified.
counterpunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're happy with that. We get mid tower off of it, and we're looking at Herald again. So we're gonna end up with a double Herald game traded for 2 dragons. I was wrong. It is Star Nemesis.
Damn. Okay.
No, but that's gonna be really nice because Axe just hit Static Shiv on the previous back and now has 2k to put into his next item, which is really nice. I mean, hitting, obviously being Kaisa, hitting item breakpoints, very important. Gets you all the evolves you need to play in the mid game.
This is kind of interesting from the lane assignment's perspective. So Revnon has pushed 2 towers in top lane. There's no reason for him to go back there. Where do you send everybody to try to maximize gold? Because a lot of that's just going to kind of funnel into that top lane, and you can't really solo safely split push up there. So,
I mean, you're going to toss Revnon bot to take the last outer tower of the game. That makes sense. You're already matching Elo IRS doing it that way.
Oh.
I guess you just... You have X-Craze float mid-top and pick up waves in top lane, and then just join whenever he's not picking up waves in top lane.
Yeah,
eventually that turret's just gonna fall by default because you can't really invest too many resources into keeping it up, and you've got Nightmare and Setsmegma up top lane, so...
Yeah, 2 minutes to go on an Infernal Dragon as well. It'd be nice for RTM to have. You don't really want to risk an Infernal Soul Point, especially against double Marksman team. It doesn't feel great.
No, actually feels quite horrible, especially with Milio on top there as well. Some of the angles for Q having a Infernal Soul proc on them, really annoying. Turns him into a legitimate poke threat when otherwise he's not in any way a legitimate poke threat. This looks unfortunate for Elo IRS.
Yeah, Elo IRS just trying his best to clear the minion wave. Oh, just gets clipped by the edge of the Nature's Grasp. I don't think it's a dive angle necessarily from ROTM, but they still have the Rift Herald if they want to use it. X-Cray is getting run down in top lane. Now, can he play himself out of this corner? Picks up an orb, and no. No is going to be the answer there. Elo IRS low, taken down though in the bottom lane is Axified. Actually didn't dash in. He just walked his way in for the couple of auto attacks that he needed for that kill. So sacrificing weak side X-Craze, unfortunately. And ROTM now backing with 45 seconds to go, approximately. I'm a little
yeah, it's unfortunate that I don't think Return of the Middlesticks was intentionally playing to bot side, so maybe it wasn't communicated or noticed for X-Craze to just drop off of the top lane. You're just never going to be not outnumbered.
It's also just so hard against this lane because you get slowed by a volley and then all of a sudden you can just get run down almost infinitely.
You just have to be like under your tower. It's so impossible to exist anywhere else on the map against Emilio Ashe.
Yeah, just between the speed ups from Shirelia's in now every ability that Emilio has and the slowdowns from Ashe, it's just hard to run away.
Yeah, it's one of those molasses experience where your speed compared to the speed of who's chasing you is just illegal.
And just the real frozen snail experience. Revnon, actually not doing super great on this trade now with Set Smegma and Nightmare, and I guess just those two headed in. Trying to just fight his way through this one. Teleport coming in from X-Craze as he's able to respawn. They'll punch through, they'll grab the meat grinder through for 1 kill. In comes Axified for a little bit of extra damage. Elo Iris trying to finish off Revnon. A little shield action from the hip thrust, and it's a double kill for Revnon. Axified is just chasing down Set Smegma and Hamlet on the other side of the map. Champion God is stealing away Wolf Camp, which, you know, he got a stack. That's pretty cool. But they're going to use the dragon for it, and a couple of kills on this other side.
I gotta give credit to Revnon for how he played out that 1v3 to buy time. That was about as pixel perfect as you could ask for from an Urgot.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Rift Herald about to time out, so this doesn't look like it's going to get any value whatsoever. Ooh. So it's a net 25 gold on the Rift Herald play. You get 50 for killing it, and they get 25 for killing it. So, but you got the dragon, which
Net 25 gold. The Rift Herald play.
well,
That one I've never heard before.
you gotta make big
so
plays sometimes.
yeah, very true.
It's like investing in Bitcoin, you know.
So other than the obvious item breakpoint for Revnon up in the top lane, who is an anomaly in this game, Mythic for basically everybody except Nightmare, who dropped off first, and of course Axified, who was third iteming Mythic, as Kaisa is wont to do.
Yeah, Puppy GF also not quite there.
No, not quite almost either. Has about 1,000 to his name alongside that, so get there.
Yeah, hard for the tree to hold a lot of gold at a time. It's unfortunate, really.
Mark check 5 at 22 minutes. Could be worse, could be better. So
Yeah,
we've kept pace on average.
Got that first breakpoint, which is important, and you're 2 away from the second breakpoint. Nightmare is under fire in the mid lane and will just die.
Yeah, Nightmare is absolutely toasted in that particular scenario.
Sometimes that Melio healing looks really thick, and then other times it doesn't. This is one of those games where it looks really impressive. And I can't quite explain it to you. Sometimes you see it and it's like, that's not really healing. That's kind of paltry.
So it helps when you've got two marksmen with semi like low looking health bars. Those heals look bigger because the overall
because
health
the health
pool.
bars are small. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy that. Looks like VITL is looking. They're not really looking at Baron. They just want this vision, and they can call in Hamlet if they need to. They cannot call in Nightmare. So he's got to run all the way there. Teleport behind from Revnon. This is kind of the moment. Stebby gets caught a little bit. They're pulling the trigger onto Champion God. Just trying to do any damage that they can. In comes Revnon and Axified, though. A big Lamb's Respite, just buying a lot of time. The Galio resetting the fight. Now Revnon is just stuck on the front line and is going to be sacrificed. Oh, he just can't quite finish off anyone. And it's Revnon and X-Craze for nothing. A lot of huge ults there from VITL, and that means that they're going to be able to start on the Baron. Will our team contest? It doesn't look like it, as Axe and Stebby have gone back to base. Puppy GF may be looking for a really lucky steal. In comes the sapling over the wall. There's no way. Okay. It was smited at 1200. That was pretty clean, actually, from Champion God. And now Puppy GF, unfortunately, going to fall as well. So gold flipping back to VITL Gaming. They're now only down 2,500 in the game, and scary times for ROTM. That was why this team comp works so well. We got to see it in action.
Yeah, when you get the good scenario, the team fighting can be very, very potent, and you know it's those types of fights where this is the point where you really got to keep mental, because you've been doing so well up to this point. That's the type of turning point scenario where you have to flip from, okay, we're ahead, to we're not as ahead as we once were.
Yeah, it's also just, that was an almost perfect scenario for almost all of those ults. Like the Galio ult was so perfectly able to zone Revnon away from the rest of the team. X-Craze just got kind of stuck in no man's land because he's Syndra and doesn't have any defensive items or, you know, even a huge amount of burst to just throw somebody into the grave. And you got a huge Kindred ult to really delay, like, completely reset the fight. It's like a perfect scenario. Ooh, Asher going to land in the mid lane onto Stebby. Axe trying to help out any way that he can and just deter the continued dives. Stebby looks like she's going to be all right, though.
Yeah, and like you said, scary times. You've really This is one of those scenarios where you kind of have to decide what you're giving up and figure out where you can lose the least amount of pressure and map.
Yeah, 10 seconds to go on the dragon, which doesn't represent a whole lot, really. It'd be putting VITL on Soul Point, but if it costs them a lot of time on their push, I think it's something worth sacrificing.
Yeah, I am a very outspoken proponent of do not take Dragon when you have Baron buff on you, and I really hate seeing it unless it's, you
They're
know,
just
you're
backing off of
using it
this
to
one.
secure Soul.
Puppy GF is just going to walk in. Oh, the smite from Champion God was there. Really unlucky for ROTM. Stubby's going to die, and now ROTM didn't need to pick this fight. They're going to lose 2. Axify trying to fight his way through the ELO IRS, but he gets hit by the Ash Arrow and taken down. The shutdown for ELO IRS, and Puppy GF will be able to escape, but 3 more kills for VITL. They take their first gold lead in quite a while in the game, and that's exactly what we were talking about right up to the dragon, and then it happened, unfortunately, for ROTM.
You know, hey, that thing I said about this is the important part where you have to keep mental and not lose a ton off of that last play where, you know, it starts snowballing in your opponent's favor. This is that scenario, that one.
Yeah, it's not dire completely yet. Like, this is a reasonable gold lead. You're getting objective bounties for some reason, which is really nice. So if you can just get a couple of objectives, get yourself back into the game, it's fine for ROTM. Nightmare gets hit by a sapling. It doesn't look like there's any damage really in the vicinity for Stubby to go on, but you can see what ROTM wants to do and what they're forced to do is a little bit different right now. They want to scrap, they want to fight, but the stall and the fight reset from VITL is just really hard to deal with.
Yeah, it's one of those weird back and forth things where if you try to like fully kite them, they're not a team who runs into you, so they just disengage and go back to whatever they were doing. But if you flip that and you chase them and you engage fully, you also lose. You sort of have to mind games them into taking and spending all of their resources without losing it.
Yeah, or you have to catch somebody, which is I mean the last good play that we saw for ROTM was the pick in the mid lane on Nightmare, right? That started that one off. If you can find another one of those and just manufacture your way back into the game. Look at the health bar on that mid lane tower. Like that's an extra objective bounty. There's one in bot lane that's relatively exposed. You can pick up a dragon or Baron. Like you're definitely not out of this game by any means, but the mental game is much more difficult.
You've got some fair pick tools. I mean, you don't have Ash Arrow, but you know, Scout of the Week and a long range Maokai ultimate, both tools that do work. You just have to be patient and not drop as much farm as you wait for an opportunity.
Yeah, also Axified scaling 3 items now on the Kaisa. It gets better for him the longer it goes on. Not easier to play necessarily, but he does more damage, so that's nice. Hamlet has a stopwatch. That's something to keep an eye on. So Galio no longer a pick target. X-Craze with a nice little sidestep on the Ash ult. Almost psyched himself into walking into it. But now Puppy GF going to pull the trigger on the other side. They see Champion God here, so I don't know that they actually really want to go for it. And it's... I don't want to say wasted opportunity, because it caused them to back off, but didn't get the pick that they wanted.
No, not quite. And
Hamlet might be in a little bit of danger here. Axe just going to walk in, layer some damage into him. Radon walks over a ward. This is a very interesting situation developing in the red side jungle. There are 13 seconds to go on Baron. The red buff goes over to ROTM. Oh, unfortunately, Revnon and Puppy GF are the 2 that get it, so no red buff on Axe. But this Baron is going to melt to Revnon and Axified. Gets started up immediately. Champion God knows about this, presumably. He's hanging right around. Emilio Q over the wall. It's smited and secured by Return of the Middlesticks. That was very close, and now they need to get out. Set Smegma gets hit by a sapling, and comes the Ash ult. Sails in between everyone, and ROTM kind of walk in, pick the pocket of Baron, and then leave.
yeah, a little bit of highway robbery happening there, but as in the immortal words, we take those.
heist successful. R.I.P. the 100 Thieves. They're not dead, they're just bad.
Damn. I mean, you're right, but damn.
Revnon may be caught, but it's going to turn into a counter catch for ROTM. They blow up Champion God. He didn't get his ult off, and now the Galio flies in. He's got his stopwatch. Hamlet just is going to die in the middle of ROTM. Nightmare getting chased down by Revnon. It's a double kill for Axified. He hits the Void Seeker and flies in for the triple kill. Stun doesn't quite land on Set Smegma. In comes another Void Seeker just to land, and ROTM crushes their way through a team fight. They'll pick up another couple of towers on the way. What a fight by Axified and Revnon.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge. I mean, it's kind of like catching somebody, but more that you layered enough CC. Kindred did not get her ult off. VITL, the reset that they're relying on in their team fight just didn't happen this time.
Elo IRS is in looking for Axified, is going to find him, but the towers have already fallen. RTM looking for the Nexus now. Elo IRS is in, he's low. The Nexus is low, but it's going to fall first, and ROTM takes game number 1.
Really good composure from Return to the Middlesticks. Like I said, they have to sit and wait for an opportunity, and they did. And the opportunity they were given just turned out to be the whole game, actually.
Yeah, they found the one pick that they needed. It was a counter pick and a counter engage on the potential engage onto Revnon. They capitalize, they secure the win for game number 1, and now up 1-0, they can close out the series in game 2. This is when, if I was a good producer, I'd have the transition ready, but I was still typing.
Huge. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, this is usually like at post game 1. This is the part where me, the analyst, gets to talk about what you change in draft. But like, neither team really has any cause to be dissatisfied with their team composition. Nothing about this game came down to composition. Both teams played to their strengths very well. So maybe you want a little bit more autonomy for your bot lane. You choose to be the engagers, but it's not like Milio was not useful either, so.
Yeah, and I feel like you had a reasonable engage with Galio anyway. Like, Galio Volibear isn't the worst engage that I've ever heard of. But, yeah.
No, yeah, very
Didn't
playable.
see it play out that way. It was used more to counter engage, which we saw work spectacularly a couple of times. Do we have side select not used to winning? Oof.
Oh.
I think it says in the league doc, which I can't find. It always takes me a second to find their league doc, even though it's in a chat called League Dogs.
The weird thing, I've noticed this about Metashift server when I was in it. Their like channel organization is good. Like it's organized. It's just organized in a way where it feels weird for me to try and find anything.
I don't know if my message actually sent. It's like grayed out. Like if I were betting on if my message sent, I would say no, but
Loving the I just tabbed out in time to see, well, in time. I just tabbed out for the first time to see all of the Revnon copy pastas in chat.
yeah.
Huge fan.
Damn, Max. They were asking who had side select, and I was like, oh, the losing team from game 1 selects game 2, and Axe is just, who lost game 1? Just to make them say it. That's some expert, like, not quite trash talk, but like, you're right there.
Yeah, you're technically you're technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Also, Revnon has now specifically said to ignore most of the people on the team in the chat.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. Ignore X person, other person starts talking. Ignore that, but Y person and Z person as well. I'm gonna continue hopping back and forth until I'm given a spot.
I
I
don't know about depends how soft, I guess, is the response to that. But, yeah. Anyway. I also don't really like talking shit unless I know the outcome, but that's really a failure of my own.
Yeah, I live in constant fear of talk shit into get bodied. That is the worst timeline that you could end up in.
You've been told to chill out. Yeah, the constant fear of talk shit get hit lives within us.
Yeah, one of my personal favorites that's memetic in the Smash Bros. Competitive universe is taunt to get bodied true combo, which I'm a huge fan of, and it also it happens especially at like local tournaments so often that it makes me wonder why people ever taunt, because it's almost like caster curse. Like it feels like a real thing even though there's no causality. Literally killing my client remote. I'd tell them to cry about it, but they literally are, so.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes.
Ah, I hope they watch this.
It probably just depends on whether they win or lose.
Valid.
Is at least what I've found with all of my casts that I've ever done in my life. It's like when I casted from replays for a while. The winning team always shows up. But you almost never get the losing team there to, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch us get stomped again.
I didn't start watching my losses until like 2 years ago.
I would watch my losses privately, but I don't know that I would watch a cast of my losses. Listen to people talk shit about me at the same time. Alright, well, we're into draft for game number 2.
And we so far have not dropped anything. I mean, the ordering is a little bit different from the last time, but we're still LeBlanc, Kane, Lilia, waiting room on Nocturne, Talia, and Ivern. So
yeah, nothing.
Oh, we're gonna get rid of the Kindred. It worked fine, but we don't want to see it.
Yeah, I hate that. It was very annoying.
That's valid.
There's Nocturne. So we dropped Talia. Is that the first pick? It is not. It's Zaya Hugger, which is interesting because you have Kaisa up if you want to take that. But
yeah, that would also be. It would be odd to see as a B1, in my opinion. I don't know if there's that enough priority on Xayah to consider it as a B1 for me.
Oh, I don't hate it just for the reason that Axe showed his Kai'Sa and showed his chops on the Kai'Sa. And Xayah, I don't want to say is the known counter to Kai'Sa because they're relatively even, but it's like one of the more comfortable matchups you can play is just playing Xayah into Kai'Sa. So it's almost daring Axe to pick Kai'Sa now. But
yeah, and we're gonna get the Rakan takeaway.
Yeah.
I always love to see that because giving over either one of giving over the duo when one of them gets picked just always feels horrible.
I also really like Varus Rakan. Like that's a pretty fun lane to play. A lot of crowd control possibilities.
Yeah, a lot of fun combo potential. A lot of hey, they just evaporated. What happened?
Yeah, so VITL looking. That's an entirely different champion from Melio. It's gonna be the Rel, which doesn't necessarily have to be support. Could be jungle for Champion God, but given that we're banning Kayn, Kindred, and Nocturne, I don't think he's like, give me the Rel.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't really feel like the champion for somebody who names themselves Champion God.
That champion got buffed, and I hate it.
It's Rel Orianna, yeah.
Yeah, Rel Orianna. Woo, kill me.
they probably will. They're good at that. I, for one, am loving that Orianna got buffed because I that is one of my favorite characters of all time.
I need a break from Orianna. Like, give me a season where Orianna isn't in the meta.
We've had what? We've had like 3.
No,
not in a row, but
she comes back every single time.
She is kind of like a cockroach.
Just get rid of Orianna, get rid of Corki. Azir, you're okay. Because at least there's like a flashy play you can make on Azir. And at least on Orianna you can hit the ult. Just don't give me Corki. But, yeah, Orianna Cinder is about as box standard as you can get. And now Revnon's Urgot's gone. Very surprising.
Poppy ban makes sense. It's pretty good into Urgot specifically, and it's also great if you're playing into Rakan. So
a Mumu ban as well on Puppy GF. Leaves open the Maokai. Leaves open. There was something else that was banned last game. The Sejuani? Yeah.
Yes, it's the Sejuani ban that we missed.
So.
I don't see a reason not to go for the Maokai again, unless you want Jarvan for specifics.
Jarvan,
good into Xayah.
Good into Xayah, good into Orianna.
Yep.
Seems good. Wukong for Champion God. Feels along the same vein. Give me a skirmishy, beady up champion. I don't really like Trundle here. That's another champion that doesn't deal well with Jarvan necessarily.
Could not, I don't know, maybe looking at blind top here as well. I mean, you're picking at the same time, so it's reasonable to expect that it's jungle. More reasonable to assume it is because of the Wukong pick. That champion doesn't really show up in top lane that often anymore.
Which is a little sad. That was.
Yeah, I miss top lane Kong.
Oh, are we getting Shard of the Monolith gameplay? Malphite Rel Orianna. Let's fucking go.
Malvarrock Phytamus. No, it's Renekton.
It's an interior.
We're coin flipping.
Alligator.
Yeah, we're coin flipping way harder than that. And yeah, that's what I was wondering. Revnon loves playing Set, and now he doesn't really have that many reasons not to.
Yeah. We know he likes Urgot. We know he likes Set.
He also loves Mordekaiser. In houses when I play with. He used to be a really big
Shen player, I feel like, but I don't know if he dropped that.
I'm not sure. It might be for his top lane pool. So I know all of these champions not because Revnon plays top lane and in-houses, but because he exclusively plays bot lane and picks melee characters. So he'll go like Mordekaiser and have his support play Taric, or he'll go like he'll go Set and have him play any engage support. It gets really annoying.
That does sound really annoying. Wow. We're into second champs left.
Yeah, it's not fun to play into, so I have to assume that it's not particularly fun to play into top either.
Do you want to talk about the Briar champion? Do you have thoughts on that?
I have seen nothing. I know nothing. I just know that the simps and the fan art is going to be annoying. But other than that, for the actual character itself, I am very out of the loop.
Auto countered by Rammus, very hard.
Oh, Rammus stonks going up.
Rammus
Huge.
stonks.
Love Rammus. Great character. Brilliant design.
She can self-taunt with 2 of her abilities. If you self-taunt onto Rammus, that's not a good time.
Right. Yeah, no, that seems bad.
I also like August showed off one of the abilities that they tried out as an ult. I'm gonna pull it up just so I can read it exactly, because it's a trip.
It's one of those, wow, that's really something.
Passive.
Book of stuff I have to read.
No, it's actually very simple. Passive.
Ah.
If Briar dies while this ability is off cooldown, instead she revives over 2 seconds, dealing X physical damage to surrounding enemies and healing for X% of the damage dealt. A Y% of the damage dealt. Different number. Active. Briar deals 1 million true damage to herself.
So you can, yeah, okay, I kind of,
So you
I
go in
understand
and kill
the bit.
yourself to nuke.
Yep.
And heal. Yeah.
Huh. I mean,
Anyway, instead all they decided on was a global range dash ability that auto taunts yourself on the target you hit. So, you know, something much more normal.
yeah. What do they expect this character to be? Is it like a mid lane assassin?
I think it's supposed to be
AD?
a mid-lane assassin, but I'm not 100% sure.
Because I assume it's melee AD.
Yeah.
Bursty. If you're auto taunting, you expect your to be doing, yeah, damage. Interesting. I don't know if I hate it more or less now because of that information, but it is at least more based than I thought it was.
Yeah, no health regen, can't move, 50% win rate. Ah! But
oh, so quirky. Can't auto attack, but gains more passive gold. Completely immobile. 50% win rate though.
Yeah. Which they described Ragnaros in Heroes of the Storm.
Is that actually how they describe Ragnaros?
No, Ragnaros could turn into a turret as one of his ults, and then you couldn't, like, the only thing you could do is change lanes. But you couldn't really auto attack, you could only use abilities. It is weird, it's kind of close. It's not quite the Meteos champion, but
sort of. It is funny. You know,
Heroes of the Storm
the
had
peak
some
of
wild champion designs.
Yeah, I was gonna say the peak of Heroes of the Storm champion design is the Murloc infant. I forget what name it is.
Oh god, yeah, that one's pretty good. I really like not Ogre Magi.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cho'Gall.
Cho'Gall, where one person was Cho and one person was Gall.
My favorite aspect of Cho'Gall is when you use his mount, he just holds the horse over one shoulder and it makes him faster.
Yeah.
There was the hardest character in the game to play, which was Lost Vikings, where you macro 3 characters at the same time.
Yeah, or Abathur, where you had to try to macro your team into having not a teammate.
Yeah, macro your team into figuring out how to play a 4v5 and win. And somehow convince them that you're contributing at the same time. Bonus objective.
But yeah, I really liked some of the champion design. I didn't like the game, so you know.
Yeah, I see. I'm the exact opposite. I thought HOTS was super fun. I just couldn't get into it because there was no way for me to feel like it was a competitive game.
Yeah, I never felt like I individually had any agency over the outcome of the game.
No, things just sort of happened and I was playing at the same time. Which, I mean, there is some argument against that because I felt the same way for like a year and a half or two playing Smite, and then I started playing Smite for my college team, and I found out that I did have agency over the outcome of the game. I just never felt like I did before. So maybe it was a depth problem, or maybe it was the fact that those are two wildly different MOBAs.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I play Vala, which is basically playing Vayne for anyone who didn't play Heroes of the Storm. And like I'd kill like 9 people, and I wouldn't get any closer to winning one of the objectives than I had prior to that, even though I was fighting over the objective the entire time. And it was like I just don't feel like I'm doing about as well as I can do, right? And it's not really helping.
Yeah, I played a lot of different characters in Heroes of the Storm, but my favorite by far was ETC. Just because it's such a ridiculous character concept.
I really liked the Siege Tank Commander. I forget her name.
Mm-hmm.
That was my
Yeah. Sergeant Hammer, I think. Yeah. I played a lot of the big beefy ones. Diablo was super fun because you just got to manhandle whoever your target was.
Alright, I'm gonna pause here at the, well, if it loads, I'm gonna pause at the start of the game.
Well, I'm going to jump back to 0000.
2 seconds, so I'll go back. Kale was acting like he had eaten something he shouldn't have, but now he's acting normal. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see it, I guess. Alright, if you're ready, we'll go 3, 2, 1, go. That brings back memories of casting replays.
We cast a lot of replays together.
Well, yeah, we did. I mean, GRLCS was entirely replays.
Yeah, GRLCS was never not replays, because that's just how the series operated. We cast a fair amount of Radon replays because we all had the same game night when we were in that one tournament series. I forget its name.
What did we play in?
It was the one like before Legends, or before Legends was called Victorious or whatever.
Yeah, that was Legends, and then before that was... I mean, around the same time was Runeterra Academy, but I don't think that was it. I don't know. We've played in a lot of tournaments, I guess. This is year 6 of Return of the Middlesticks. Hooray. Lucky number 6.
Big. So nothing too crazy happening. We got some vision invades, a little bit from the side of VITL.
Revnon is very
Revnon's
confident that he wins this. Oh, he even took Facebreaker to pull him back in for the extended trade. Oh, he got the...
Yeah, you stack up. Oh, this is the fun. We're not.
Oh,
we're not bitch made.
Tempo.
This is lethal tempo set topside. This is how you actually mess up Renekton's day. Renekton should, on paper, Renekton should win this matchup. But there's ways that you can cheese out Renekton losing this matchup if you just play like an absolute Chad as set. And I know, among other things, Revnon is an absolute Chad at set. So, Facebreaker first is valid though. You always do that.
And
then
he just ghosts his ass down and forces him to flash at level 1. That's...
Yeah, you start Facebreaker, you walk past the melee minions, so you get the stun and not just the knockback slow, or pullback slow, and yeah, Elo IRS has to flash away. Welcome to getting cheese level 1 at set.
Yeah, level 2 for Stebby, get the knock up onto set Spankma. Not a whole lot of damage really happening here, it's just some abilities.
No, hard to get through the bone plating, and just the fact that Rel is absurdly tanky, even at level 1.
Stebby went for the Gleaming Quill, didn't quite land it.
Unfortunate.
I don't like the dyssynergy Stebby and Axified. They really need to work on the Skinergy here. These skins do not look good together, is what I'm really trying to say.
Yeah, no, they really don't. Arctic Observerus is a very different vibe from Elderwood.
Like, Nightmare and Set Smegma are fine. Like, they're both the same color palette, the same kind of general vibe, but... Yeah, Revnon shoving his way in here at level 3 against the Facebreaker, who didn't get the stun, though. Sad.
Yeah, a little bit off. Not really a way to angle it any better than that, though. You do have to be careful here, because you don't have W, and yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, solo kill for Elo IRS, kind of pulling that one against the overall run of everything, and now Revnon will have to go on the defensive a little bit. Has to use his teleport. Elo IRS has already used his.
Yeah, it's really bad to go down a kill early to Renekton specifically in this matchup, so... And we'll have to see how Revnon plays out the rest of this lane.
Yeah, Hamlet showing off the Orianna W buff. Stuns onto Axified, who into the root. Stebby in a little bit of trouble, has one more dash back plus the heal, and that's enough to keep him alive. They'll do a little chunk of damage to set Smegma, but overall a good trade for the bottom lane of VITL. X-Craze looking for Hamlet. Oh, didn't get the stun. And Puppy GF just gonna walk through, see how they're doing. Is she gonna go contest?
That feels...
I'm watching the mini-map while this is happening in bottom lane. Axe is full health, and he's just walking forward onto set Smegma. Knock up from Stebby. Champion God is here, so they have to be pretty careful. Oh, root. That was such an unlucky root, honestly. I thought there were only 2 feathers there, and Axified going to fall as well. He burns his flash right at the last second, and VITL up to a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, it feels like there's a little bit of disrespect from Radon on all points of the map for what the characters that VITL have can do early. And that feels pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to pick up where they left off in game 1, but you can't really do that. You have to play each game as its own unique experience, unfortunately. Which happens sometimes. It's hard when you play sets of games in a row. Hell, when I play solo queue, you go into one game, you're a golden god, and then you load into the next one and you forget that you don't do any damage. You're not 15-1 in that game. Hamlet,
for a while,
the trade of flashes with Stebby, that's actually... It's a good trade. It feels bad that they don't get the kill, and really well done by Hamlet to have that flash ready to go.
Yeah, that was a pretty hair trigger flash. That was nice. Yeah, I used to have an issue where I couldn't play the same character twice in a row, because if I got to like level 16 on Jax in one game, and then I started Jax at level 1 in the next game, I would play as if I was level 16, and I just went like 0-9.
Oh. If set Smegma
Oh, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. You can buffer that if it's regular flash, but Hex Flash you can't buffer anything, so.
Yeah, if that Hex Flash had fully channeled, Axe is dead right now, but unfortunately for VITL, he wasn't able to get that done. I'm also curious why they killed the A in VITL. I don't know that...
I'm not sure.
The A doesn't really matter that much, because it's still probably just pronounced VITL, but I don't know why it had to go.
Yeah, it feels like we're missing some A representation, for sure.
I mean, I stole one for my name, but... really doesn't need to be 2 A's at the start of it.
That's where the A went. You've had it this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know that I personally stole it from VITL Gaming, though.
Well, I'm just saying, we've never seen your A and the A from VITL Gaming in the same room together.
That's fair. Cull for Axified, so he's planning on not engaging here in the bottom lane for a little bit. It looks like is the big... Oh, he started Cull, actually. Interesting. Puppy GF hovering around mid, stun onto Hamlet. They'll lock Orianna up. Hamlet gets off a shockwave, and it's enough damage from Puppy GF, and rout him on the board. Not as clean as maybe you'd hoped, because X-Craze is on ones of health, it looks like. But a kill's a kill. Dead noob is a dead noob, as my grandma used to say. She was a wise woman.
Yeah, she sounds like it. You get to be
Oh,
real careful right here.
Revnon. Oh, he doesn't have his W back.
Yeah,
Oh.
my rule of thumb in this lane is every time you use W to cap off a trade and get the health advantage, your passive's gonna get you up anyways. You should just leave.
Oh, Stebby interrupts the engage from Set Smegma. That was actually really clutch. I think that might have been a bad situation for Axophyte and Stebby. It feels like it could be much worse given what's happened so far in this game. If just a couple of things had gone the way of VITL, but as it is, it's still a 1,000 gold lead. It's a dragon. Top lane not going super well, which was a huge bright spot in last game. So our team need to find a little bit of a foothold. And in comes the Hex Flash from Set Smegma. Oh, interrupts the dash. This is the counter interrupt, but luckily Stebby has a second dash to get away.
Yeah, and if that fails, he's got a third dash. You're just playing Lee Sin.
Stebby's still not level 6. It's kind of a risk anytime they stand together for the Gleaming Quill healing to just get rooted immediately by Nightmare. X-Craze and Puppy GF playing this bottom side now, trying to bait Hamlet in, who doesn't have a flash. Champion God gets spotted on the Rift Herald, and Revnon willing to just chase him off. Stun lands onto Champion God, and the Cyclone interrupts both of the engage. They'll grab Hamlet, though, and it's enough damage, again, from Puppy GF and X-Craze to be able to secure the kill. I think you'd really like these kills to go on the mid lane, but it's so hard to parse that amount of damage. I don't blame Puppy GF for taking either kill.
Yeah, no, it's very difficult because you want to make sure that that you are securing every kill opportunity you get this early.
Revnon walking in, looking for Elo IRS. Puppy GF is here to try to help turn
Get
this
the stun
one.
on that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Elo IRS doing pretty well. Now has the Dominus ticking. Do you have the healing? There it is. Puppy GF in. Oh, and through the jacuzzi. Actually, Revnon has to fight his way out now as Champion God is also here. Just abduct Renekton into tower. Oh, it isn't quite enough with the one tower shot. That's unlucky, but he escapes with his life at least.
I feel like he definitely had E back up there. I think that was slightly misplayed. If you E there, you don't die and you get that kill.
I think he's just worried about the extra damage coming in from Champion God, maybe. Not
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
sure.
if you stop to E, maybe you get traded back, but at that point, the shutdown gold for Elo IRS is more than worth it.
Yeah, Axe doing his best to farm, and his best is actually pretty good. He's up CS again, which is pretty impressive given the amount of pressure that's come out. Has to flash away from the Magnet Storm, but has that on the hair trigger. That was really nicely. We've seen some really good flashes. It's hard to be super impressed by flashes in the year 2013 of our Lord, but 2023? My God. I'm getting peanut galleried by my wife. It's gone horribly for me.
It's the worst timeline. There's not an outcome worse than this.
Well, Toaster, you and me are taking a bath tonight. We don't condone. I'm not suicidal, just for the record. This is purely a joke for entertainment purposes. Please no one worry about me. We do need to worry a little bit about Revnon in the top lane, though, as Elo IRS has his finished War Drinker, which got buff-nerfed? It got adjusted?
It's definitely better, I think. But I'm a set player, so...
It's better for the things I would want it to do, but it's, I think, kind of just worse overall. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. But it's good in this situation. It makes him tankier and does more damage, so you take that. And Revnon's on the better build path. Oh! That was pretty clean. Locks Nightmare in the cage. Oh, didn't quite have the follow-up CC. Stebby going to take an extra tower shot. Meanwhile, they'll lose Rift Herald on the other side of the map. I like the look on the Nightmare. They just didn't quite have that last little pixel on the Chain of Corruption from Axified. Instead, potentially a dragon here in 10 seconds. Although, with the rate that Rift Herald got picked up, they might be in range to contest this one. Champion God, I don't know exactly that was where he meant to decoy, but he did decoy.
It was really nicely played by Nightmare, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, with those resources down, I'm not sure you really want to be looking at this dragon. You just burned every ult in the bot lane.
Yeah, teleport coming in from Elo IRS, which should just mean that VITL take this one. And yeah, RTM calling off everything. They're going to let Revnon get some tower plates and get himself a little bit more even in the game. That's probably a fair trade for ROTM as long as they can scoop up these minion waves without dying in the bottom lane as well. Gold is even. It doesn't feel like gold should be even, but we are at an even gold game.
We've got a bit of a CS gap in the mid that's helping out some. I'm not really sure where the rest of this gold's coming from, to be honest with you. I mean, there's not a gap anywhere else to be seen.
There's
so
a couple of tower plates, which
yeah, a
add
few,
up to
few
about a
tower
kill.
plates
Like,
which are helping.
it's it is kind of strange. I don't 100% know where all the gold is coming from, but I can't be super upset
Across
about
the
it.
board, you've got about 600 in the mid. You're down a full 1,000 in top side, and then
Axe and
yeah, no,
Stevie are in a bit of trouble. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's not really anything you can do about that. Stevie uses the quickening. Is it enough to get her out? Oh, the healing from Gleaming Quill? Oh! Alright.
Rakan remains unmatched in escape potential, basically against any other character, in my opinion.
Yeah, very slippery. Does cost Axified his life and the bottom lane tower, which is not great. The Rift Herald wasn't used before tower plates fell, which is a little bit strange from VITL.
Yeah, it's also a little bit odd because the other thing that you would potentially be holding it for is Dragon, and it's definitely going to expire well before that point, so...
That was a bit lucky.
See ya!
Yeah.
I guess. I'm not sure how I feel about Leandries for X-Craze this game. I'm not sure there's enough collective health for that to be specifically better.
Well,
That was kind of tricky.
Yeah, he
That's
uses
kind of
the
tricky.
Wukong clone to get out of danger, but this is his tower and it's going to be right back in danger anyway. Can't quite fight a 3v1, but luckily he's got help on the way. X-Craze with a stun over the wall. Revnon does a lot of damage to Champion God. In comes Puppy GF. They're looking to turn this one onto Wukong first. X-Craze low! He's going to burn down to just that last little bit of damage. Nightmare gets stuck in the jacuzzi, but still has enough health to continue. But that Dragon Lance picks up the kill for Puppy GF, and now Set Smegma trying to run away, but luckily that movement speed is a little bit higher than it used to be. In comes the Magnet Storm into the charge. What the W from Set is able to pick up that kill. Puppy GF gets pulled into the shockwave. Good flash by Hamlet, able to pick up that one. And now Revnon versus Hamlet in the 1v1 of the century of the minute 16 here on Summoner's Rift, and it's a double kill for Hamlet for VITL. And all told, that's 3 for 2 in favor of VITL.
Yeah, I want to say you're right about that.
It doesn't really do much to the gold lead. It's still 1,500, so overall kind of a no decision on that one, but it was fun. We had a good time.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I was very entertained.
Yeah, Elo IRS wailing away on this bottom lane tower. Stebby's looking for a little flank on him. I don't think he's going to be able to find anything that gets into the range that her team can really engage at. And now it opens up Nightmare and Set Smegma to go ahead and push in the mid lane.
Yeah, and you know, we're sort of getting to the point where the item breakpoints being what they are, you don't want to fight VITL.
Puppy GF looking for Nightmare though. No Feather Storm, so is in danger of being CC'd, but they just can't quite find the range. Nightmare doing a good job kiting away, getting that damage through.
Oh,
yeah, sorry, Stebby gets very injured as a result of that play. The Cyclone going off, but the damage from Axified is enough. Revnon able to do a little bit with the Haymaker, but it's just such a close trade, but Nightmare is wailing away from outside the range. Axified can't quite find Nightmare at the end of that one, though, and it's a double kill for the Zaya. That was such a close fight, and again, it's just the one extra kill going to Vital Gaming.
Yeah, it was really, really close. Hamlet is playing these fights particularly well. That shockwave, whether intentional or otherwise, just barely pulled Revnon away from a sweet spot W on him, which would have been about half his health bar at that charge.
And it just feels like RTM can't quite access Nightmare on the backside of these fights. He's able to just barely survive so much of this, or otherwise position out of it. And now the game, I don't want to say it gets blown wide open, but it is a 4,000 gold lead and starting to feel a little bit significant now for Vital.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be taking this gold and looking at this dragon, which will put them on soul point. Not having a stalling dragon in this kind of game to put that timer back another 5 is really tough.
Yeah, X-Craze feels like he's just a little bit off. Just a couple of pixels here, a couple of pixels there. RTM not able to quite burst through that dragon. They find Champion God, who hasn't used his decoy just yet. Revnon is on the flank, grabs Hamlet, looking for the big setup into the facebreaker. They've got the stuns. Where is the damage actually coming from, though, from RTM? Revnon is going to be the first victim of the fight, and Axified is just over the wall. It's a double kill now for the Zaya. He's just not quite getting in the fight, and that's the damage that they need, unfortunately. In comes the Chain of Corruption over the wall, but it's a little bit too little too late. And I just feel like it was a split call happening in voice chat. You saw half of RTM go in, half of them go out, and at the end it's going to cost them almost everything. 3 kills and the dragon.
Yeah, just about everything. I mean, I think if you're gonna go for something like that and you see the TP coming in at the health that Dragon was at, you've just got to finish it and try to make the best of the fight afterwards. You've made the call, because splitting the way that they did means that there's no way they win the fight afterwards.
Axe going to pick up a kill on to set Smegma, but Champion God still has Cyclone.
Yep.
And
that's
going to
be
Shockwave.
second Herald as well.
Oh, jeez.
Well, maybe not. Puppet Girlfriend has the opportunity to try a steal here, but I don't feel like that's particularly well advised.
Yeah, she's able to escape from the waiting clutches of Vital for now. She actually
timing
smited away
being what
that
it was.
yeah,
timing being what it was, there's no chance they get the second Herald, so that will just despawn in favor of a much bigger prize, but maybe not one that Vital wants to look for right now.
No, they got the Herald. Elo Iris has it.
Eh?
Yeah.
That's good timing. I didn't know if they'd quite have it or not, and it looks like they do.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Revnon's
You just
gonna
used
get
both.
caught. Yeah, just
used all your
to chew through the tower. He's got Ghost to run away, which is working pretty well for him, actually.
Yeah. It's funny just how much better Ghost is than Flash on some characters. I really hate not going Flash on set because it means I don't get to reposition W, so I'll never do it. But it makes it look like a pretty good summoner spell when you get to run away from things like that.
Well, Vital buzzing around Baron now. RTM looking for their opportunity back into the game. It's a 6,000 gold lead. It's a pretty big kill lead now for Vital. This feels like could be Baron an end for Vital if they're able to secure it. RTM really need to find a way to shut down Nightmare. It is, I think, their biggest problem. ELO IRS, of course, also 5-0-0, but they're looking for it.
We were talking about how hard it is to access Nightmare. Of course, that is pretty much what that's pretty much what Zaya does, is not get accessed.
Yeah, Revnon's tower gets accessed by Sheila, and now Puppy GF gonna get caught on the other side. Hamlet on a rampage. Stebby has to get out of that fight. Elo IRS looks like he didn't come out the best out of the engagement in bottom lane, but Axe had swung down.
Yeah,
now
and
Baron
Axe
started up
flashed
for
and ulted,
Vital.
so...
Yeah. 3,000
Yeah,
health,
this
2,000. This is not going to be stolen.
This is looking more and more like that Baron and end angle you talked about for Vital in this game.
Well, we had some
And
good
it's
times
hard.
this game. Let's think back to those. But
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough hold for Return of the Middlesticks.
it's hard to blame anything that's going on specific like itemization choices or anything similar. I do think it's weird to go Gore Drinker into Shojin. I pointed out the Leandry's first item earlier. I'm not sure
They're trying to
if
catch
there's a
Elo
specific
IRS,
reason
which
for it.
going okay. Revnon over the wall to try to help out, and the shutdown goes to Axify. That's nice to pick up on the ADC.
Yeah, that's really solid because without Elo IRS, it is difficult to maintain sort of the line that you want in these team fights. Cyclone and Magnet Storm do a good job, but this maybe slows down the push a little bit.
Ooh, X-Tray's in a lot of trouble. He's on tens of health right now. Stebby gonna get caught as well. Revnon and Puppy GF trying to just set a battle line. Stebby goes back in for a shield, but just falls. Oh, the flash over the Chain of Corruption from Set's Mega. Gets a big Magnet Storm. In goes the Jarvan Jacuzzi. In goes Set into the Jacuzzi, but he doesn't quite get the W off. And instead, Vital pick up a couple of key kills.
I know that he got the W off. They chewed through the shield and killed him before before it popped.
Oh my goodness. All right, well. That's where we're at right now. X-Craze is the last one left alive for Return of the Middlesticks. And there are Baron minions pushing in all three lanes currently.
Yeah,
This,
I gotta say, Nightmare and Hamlet made Xayah and Orianna look amazing this game.
Yeah, boring ass
I
picks,
would not be
but
playing
very
anything
effective.
else.
Yeah,
Yep.
seemed pretty good. Nexus turret's under fire. It's just Stebby and X-Craze trying to defend the base, and I don't think they're quite going to be able to do it now with Revnon here. They can't even pick up an extra kill at the end of that one.
Yeah,
Vital
seems
strike
good,
back in
would
game
play.
number 2. Yeah, that was it was a well-played game by Nightmare and Hamlet specifically. I really think the catalyst, though, is Elo IRS not getting overwhelmed in top lane by Revnon early on, and that allowed everybody else to just kind of chill and scale into the game.
Yeah,
So.
Champion God got to spend pretty much all of his time bot and mid, which was nice.
So, series tied at 1. We'll be right back with game 3. Something just happened outside, maybe? That was weird. Oh, it was my dog. Okay, well, that's much less weird. I like that there's no exit game button in the client now. You have to hit escape and exit like a plebeian.
So I didn't. The client home screen reveal for Briar or whatever, or whoever that is. I don't know if it's Briar or not,
Yeah.
but my client wasn't like in the forefront of my screen the first time she started talking, and I swear I almost chucked my headset across the room. Just the disembodied hello. I almost just yoked that
Yeah, that
into my window.
seems like a valid reaction, honestly. It is supposed to be spooky after all.
I guess, but like, bro,
cinematic's quite scary, and her short story is very scary in the fact that it doesn't exist. And Riot is putting no more effort into their lore.
Yeah, the lore department stonks have been dropping for years. Got the spec link for draft 3, big. Oh, we're drafting. Nothing got changed and Xayah got first picked again. That is the current state of the draft. You've been caught up. Congratulations. Are we going to see anything different from red side? Yeah, we're R1 Ezreal. Lock that. Huge, big money. Big fan, cool. Do we stick with the Rakan though? Rakan Ezreal, not amazing. Nope, it says Real Karma. That seems way better. Feels way better. Interested that we didn't ban anything different from last game, but no, whatever. I don't see a reason why they don't. VITL doesn't just go Rakan Orianna here. Like, you're not scared of anything. Do the same thing that you did with Rel, but with the character that's better with Xayah. Yeah, neat. So that exact draft path happened. What do we change here?
Sorry if I dropped out on you there.
Oh, you're good. Welcome back. We're running the draft back, but with Ezreal Karma bot, and we gave up Rakan to do that. So it's just Rakan Orianna Xayah instead of Rel Orianna Xayah. And nothing changed in bans. So we're picking Maokai. I don't like this personally, but it's not bad. I just don't like it.
Sorry. I guess I can explain during the 3-minute delay, but there's a Renekton ban. That seems fair.
Yeah, that's reasonable. We're also banning Syndra, which, I mean, that lane didn't go poorly for Hamlet last game, but I mean, what else are you banning? Like, why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not really scared of the set necessarily, even with the Renekton ban.
You're
scared of that, so that's valid.
Yeah.
I expected that to be the final ban, but getting it out of the way here is fine. You would expect the next one to be a Mumu, except maybe not, because we've shown that we jungle the Maokai instead of supporting or topping it. And no Wukong either, so that seems like a measured response. Do we take out Syndra, or do we? Yeah, I don't see a reason not to ban Syndra here. Valid, so we'll have to see something new. I'm not tossing out any conjecture. I just am genuinely curious what we're picking R4. That seems fair. That matchup is pretty good, actually. Also, that character's really solid right now. Not amazing, just good.
Yeah, and Ari versus Orianna, classic as well.
We're waiting on Jungle Pop here.
Viego. That feels along
base?
the same lines of what Elo IRS has been playing. That seems reasonable.
Now that's interesting because I saw that and I immediately assumed Champion God player or character.
Yeah, I think Viego is a champion that kind of matches the overall ethos of Champion God.
For sure, and definitely better jungle right now than it is topside. So, are we getting shard gameplay? No, it's the undead man who builds lethality. Except that's fake now. Because you don't get to Prowler's Claw dash through people, right? That hates fun and destroys fun builds for breakfast. What do we want top into that? Oddly enough, running back the set into Scion is a way better matchup than playing it into Renekton, so
it's
that's also really good. Yeah, so it's gonna be this is also a fantastic matchup into Scion, so
yeah, and Revnon I think has 1 million mastery on Darius.
Yeah, Darius is definitely another Revnon character for sure. The tree. I'm not drawing attention to anything in particular, I'm just reading chat, so.
Yeah, as one does. So, sorry, I dropped out for a second because the noise I thought was outside was actually coming from the corner, and it was my dog pawing at a ball that he had stuck inside of our broom and dustpan. And this specific ball has like a couple of holes in it, and we just pour kibble into it, and then he pushes it around and he eats the kibble. It's his favorite form of kibble disbursement, much more so than like a bowl or anything normal, because of course, why would he have a normal disbursement method for kibbles? But it was making just the weirdest fucking noise, so I just got up and investigated it, and then figured out what it was, and I was like, oh, whatever. But he was very insistent that I fill it up with kibble, so then I had to do that. Then, now, he has pushed the ball around, dispersing kibble across the floor, and he's just sitting outside of his mother's office. So, didn't eat a whole lot of the kibble, he just wanted to throw it around. So now there's all over the floor. It's a typical dog experience. If you've never owned a dog, this is the experience.
Yeah, that's valid. That all checks out. Not an imposter among us, actually, just dog. Doing dog things. There's things to talk about in all of these matchups, but they're so, like, boilerplate, cut and dry, what you would expect out of these matchups, that it feels weird for me to talk about them.
Yeah.
It feels like going through the motions. Like, what am I in 2023 gonna add to the discourse of the Ari versus Orianna matchup in mid?
Well, and like 1 million better analysts, not to flame you by any means, but like
my heart, my soul.
You know, every professional analyst has had to analyze these matchups. Like Viego versus Maokai may be the one exception, but all of these have been played in pro play to some extent, and like this is a very stock standard team comps almost. I think Rodham's is a little bit more solo queuey, a little bit more scrappy, but I mean, it's hard to go wrong with either of these drafts, and they have clear identities, they have clear things that they want to do.
Yeah, and that, so in lieu of, you know, having interesting matchups to talk about, or non-standard champions to break down, really you just have to think about how the last 2 games have gone and who's won and why. And it feels like if, because Radon's doing fine in the early game, right? The skill discrepancies, if there are any, or at least the rank discrepancies, haven't been showing themselves very much in the first 15 minutes or so. I would say the exception might be top lane, except we've had it go, kind of stomp E-ish both ways now. So that invalidates that argument. Really, it just seems to come down to who gets the first opening. Has been able to close it out fairly well. So,
yeah, and I'll just say, almost across the board, the ranks are just higher. For like, there's no difference in rank. The only gap where Radon is slightly ahead is in top lane, and it's not that significant. So. Everywhere else, it should be VITL favored. And
yeah,
top lane is only very slightly Radon favored. But I'm really impressed with what Radon has been able to do in the first 2 games and keeping it, winning game number 1 out of nowhere and then keeping it relatively even in game 2. I think speaks well to them coming together as a team in their second game together. But
yeah, and like. Like I said, specifically within the first 15 minutes, those skill discrepancies don't seem to really be a particularly big factor. So if we can get some decent openings, or not fall behind in one particular area of the map, coming into the mid game on even footing, Return of the Middlesticks has proven that they can teamfight fairly effectively against VITL. The canvas can be painted, you just need the right brush. Or something else that Sun Tzu probably said in a different book. This cast was very heavily un-Sun Tzu'd yet. So.
Yeah, it does need to go that way still.
No, exactly. I mean, here we are. The Maris Oath casting duo in game 3 of our series without having talked about Art of War yet. We're experiencing a minor character dislocation, but we're back on track now.
Yeah, the Art of War with such important things as people don't like being set on fire.
That's pretty big. Fog makes it difficult to see.
Maybe consider lying. Is another good one?
I'm a huge fan of consider lying. Did we see an invade game 3? Because we saw the stack in game 1, and then we just sort of saw like late vision invades in game 2. It feels like in most series, especially like game 5 series, or 5 game series, you see the invade in game 1 and then you don't see it again.
Yeah. I'm assuming Radon feels kind of gun shy after their one invade experience. So they're probably just a full stack. I could see it from VITL, but I think they're feeling very confident after the way the last game played out. So they just want to start at level 1 playing normally after that happened.
And neither team has Blitzcrank, right? Like, how am I supposed to invade without my hook champion?
Yeah, you do have the ultimate counter invade champion, Scion. So, also worth watching out for.
It is actually one of the best counter invade champions in the game.
Also the second best counter invade champion, Maokai, because you can just see them invade with the sapling.
Yeah, they're both good counter invade champions for very different counter invade purposes.
Ooh, it's not Ghost Flash on Revnon.
Entirely.
He's gone Ghost Teleport.
I don't hate it. Being down a TP in this type of game is really annoying to deal with. So. Oh, there's a chance we didn't sync up particularly well.
I'm pausing. 50. Sorry.
50. Okay. I will get to 50 then. Okay, I'm at 50. Cool.
Okay, we're gonna chill for a couple seconds. Sorry, my wife brought me ice cream, and I've been trying to eat it as fast as I can, but I'm not particularly good at eating ice cream.
Ooh, ice cream sounds great.
Um,
I'm gonna go grab
I
some.
really like ice cream,
after
but
this
I'm
game.
not. I can't just devour it. Are you ready to start? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
And now I will go grab ice cream. As we see people 5 point up across the rift, posing up a storm.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing really happening here. I don't even see anything particularly interesting to talk about. It is worth noting you get the Zyre and Rakan together for Nightmare and Set Smegma. Is it
Yeah,
a
that's
fear?
always nice.
I,
And
I
it,
was I was gonna point out last game maybe didn't go well for Radon because the Smegma was separated from Set.
that no, you know that is an interesting point that you bring up there.
Maybe if Revnon had gotten to play the whole champion, he wins that like level 3 trade. I don't want to talk anymore about this. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I had to
What
bully my roommate.
What skin is Revnon playing?
Is Revnon playing? He is.
One of these times I'm gonna look at the loading screen before I ask these questions.
Oh, it's the. Oh. Like it came out around the same theme as the Battle Academia nonsense.
Is it just Battle Academia?
I don't think it is. Hold on.
The chroma is just very weird. Is what's throwing me off. Because he has a Battle Academia skin.
He does.
I didn't know it looked like that.
It doesn't. That is the. Is that's not Lord Darius, is it?
No, Lord Darius wouldn't have chromas.
It might. Maybe it is. Does he have the shoulder spikes? Hold on, I have to see him again.
If only I'd looked at the loading screen. Knockup gonna land onto Stebby here. And Ignite actually ticking through both supports. Flash away from Set Smegma. Axe just trying to fight his way through, but he gets rooted up by the feathers. He's got press the attack, just ticking on both of them. Nightmare has to flash away. Axe, gets his Q blocked. He takes a tower shot and it's first blood. It's just so unfortunately he had that almost, but a good block by Set Smegma. I hate myself sometimes when I cast names, but it was a good flash by the Rakan to get in front of his 80 carry to save him from the Ezreal Q of Destiny. And instead, it's all summoners blown except Nightmare's Ghost. And it's a 1-kill advantage for VITL.
It is the Spirit Blossom chroma.
Is it? Interesting.
Yeah, it is the ruby chroma for Spirit Blossom that makes him look like a Oni theme. X-Grays is not dead. Huge.
He's completely fine.
He really, by rights, maybe should be, but he is in fact gaming instead.
Yeah, Stebby here in mid lane. They'll get the root down onto Hamlet, but I don't think they expected Champion God to be there. Otherwise, they would have gone full hard for that kill in mid lane. Instead, it's just the flash burned off of the mid laner and potential return. Oh, Decimating Smash is going to knock up Revnon.
Yeah, and instead of going full hard, they ended up kind of half-mast.
Yeah.
That was very out of character for me. I didn't enjoy it, so I'll probably never do it again. But
yeah, that's fair. That's all right. It happens to the best of us.
Well, top lane is sort of proceeding as we expected it to, with a pretty sizable CS gap so far for Revnon. TP already burned out for Elo IRS.
Yeah,
and
counter TP.
I just froze.
You just froze. That's surprising.
Yeah,
pause. I'm at 512.
I hit it here as well. When I unfreeze, hopefully I will get to 512, and then we'll be fine.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a bite of.
In a very theoretical sense, of course. What kind of ice cream do you have? I ask while he takes a bite, intentionally.
It's mint chip ice cream.
Oh, based.
The best kind. Have you proceeded to 512 or are you still stuck?
I am still completely frozen, actually.
Can you open your timeline and click on it?
Yeah, let's see if that does anything. Now if I speed up... No, I can speed all the way back up to 512 and then it sits there.
At 512 exactly?
Oh no, at 5 minutes where I was.
Oh.
I have not proceeded.
Huh. That might be a reload angle.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Oh. We lost our co-caster, unfortunately. RIP.
Yep.
Hopefully we can get this fixed. Sorry, Riot Client is just the best thing in the whole world, as I'm sure everyone knows.
It's so very functional. Oh, that's not great.
Can you not load into the game?
I can no longer spectate, and reconnect is not a feature. I'm just exit game, and now I'm in a lobby queuing up for rank.
Huh. I guess close the client all the way out?
Yeah, maybe.
And if that doesn't work, try OPGG. And if that doesn't work, then you're casting off the off the stream.
I'm
I
gonna go ahead
guess.
and open OPGG right now, just in case. Gotta admit, I haven't had this happen in quite some time.
Yeah, this is one of the clients of all time.
Yeah. Very true.
Sorry to everyone watching. We're trying.
NA production. Hey, I got the reconnect option this time.
That's a good sign.
Yep, that's pretty big. I was right, it is Spirit Block. There is.
Okay.
Big.
Well, that
Okay,
also
well,
means
cool. I loaded in at 804, so
Oh, well.
I'm now paused at 806.
I guess I will solo cast up to 806 and try to remember to count you in. Hopefully nothing dangerous happens in between now and then. Knock up onto Stebby, and she immediately dies. All right, well, we're off to a bad start. 2-0 now for VITL, as Revnon continues scrapping with the IRS. Maybe wanted for tax evasion, and now a knock up in bottom lane on Axophyte, and he's fine. X-Craze is out of mana, just getting auto attacks down on Hamlet, who still has ult and is going to use it. Shows that off immediately. Thank you. X-Craze is fine, but might not be fine here in just a second, as Champion God is waiting in the wings. X-Craze really has no mana for this. I cannot imagine.
I don't know why he's still here.
This seems more than a bit risky. Oh, now Set Smegma is also here. This is a dive, and X-Craze, oh, flashes away? Yeah, that was always going to happen that way.
I don't really see a way out for him in that scenario.
Yeah, I think he got a little confident because he had Flash and 6 was coming up. Maybe he could Spirit Rush and Flash, but then burned his mana entirely on a Charm and a W.
Yeah, I haven't backed up, by the way. I'm casting off of the stream, so
I didn't think you could. I'm pretty sure when you load in, it's just doomed. Axe is burning, and he's fine. Stebby has the shield to get herself out. Still being chased, though. And Champion got the Flash W forward. Stebby is going to fall. Puppy GF now in trouble. Gets the knockback on Champion God, but the tether from the enemy, well, the friend turned to enemy Karma is enough to take home that kill. And now it's 5-0 for VITL Gaming, and everything kind of rapidly falling apart for ROTM everywhere except maybe this top lane, where Revnon has a 30 CS lead.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is like, in the first game, you're not really super comfortable weak-siding your top lane character, but with Scion, you're very comfortable weak-siding your top lane character.
Yeah, he's just trying to gather as much CS as he can and be useful to knock up some people later on in the game. X-Craze has to escape from a little gank opportunity. Flash W, not really feeling it there from Set Smegma, but does burn the Spirit Rush from X-Craze. Oh, and he sidesteps the Shockwave. Maybe an opportunity to turn for X-Craze. We're almost to 8 minutes, so you might want to keep an eye on that one. As Stebby walks into mid lane, the heal from Set Smegma is enough to keep Hamlet alive. Can he stay alive? Stebby is just trying her best, but it's not there. Now hits another Q. We're at 8:10. I'm so sorry. I've been distracted this whole time. Revnon is in, hits the Q, hits the Decimate, gets the pull back, and will get the first kill on the board for ROTM. Somehow Rakan had a shutdown, so that's a 450 gold kill for Revnon. I don't know if you want a timer, if that would help you.
I'm at 8:29 right now, so.
Okay, we are even then. Somehow it
timed
worked
that
out.
well. Nice.
Yeah. Somehow it worked out.
I am gaming. I'm not gaming like X-Craze is gaming, though. He's baiting every ability in the game with his face.
Yeah, that was pretty
And it's
impressive. Revnon, unfortunately, going to get hit by the unstoppable onslaught, and that'll be all she wrote for him. Now, Champion God chasing down Puppy GF in the mid lane. And the counter kill, right back, 7-1 flashbacks for Brazilians everywhere happening.
I didn't see that coming. That's good. That's a good reference.
Well, RTM swapping solo lanes for the time being. It looks like Revnon's going to head back to top lane, so we'll get back to normalcy here in just a second. I kind of don't hate that idea just to try to get some CS on X-Craze, but
Yeah,
also don't know that
it's not
Darius
bad.
necessarily does well against Orianna.
Doesn't, but you know, you're hoping maybe you don't lose too much off of that, because otherwise you're in this scenario you're kind of looking at a Darius solo carry game, and those don't really happen in organized play.
Oh, Shockwave
Oh,
on
no.
X-Craze. He's got a Spirit Rush over the wall. Flash forward from Hamlet. In comes Puppy GF. A little extra damage from the Soul Orb. Hamlet gets bonked around. Oh, the charm just a little wide. X-Craze is really greeting for this one. Has to be so careful about the range he plays at. Puppy GF eventually able to pick up that kill. And in the top lane, the burn from... Well, not the burn. It's similar, but it's not quite the same thing. The bleed from Darius is going to pick that one up. Axe has done well.
Straight 2v1?
Yeah, that was... I mean, we didn't get to see any of it because there was apparently other things happening. Oh, Axe finally gets rooted up. He'd done so well dodging out of a lot of the crowd control. Now Nightmare taking a little bit of damage in return. Stebby walking forward, but can't quite find that range. Gets charmed in by the quickening and now has to flash away herself. Burning down to Ignite, and it's overall still a good trade for Nightmare and Set Smegma as they continue to push in Axified. There's a teleport coming behind, though, and this is going to be X-Craze into the bottom lane. Throws a charm for 3 points, and unfortunately not much more than that. In comes the Maokai ult, just not quite in range, and they're going to help Axified clear this one out.
Yeah, a lot of abilities being used, not a lot of people dying, so... You know, that's either good or bad, depending on who you're rooting for right now. Those are some of my favorite phrases, because everybody just sort of passes them by as if I didn't say something completely ludicrous there. But I did, because of course it depends on who you're rooting for at the given time.
Yeah.
Revnon
has
is
Trinity Force.
not going to be on screen.
X-Craze is fine. He's not fine anymore. Oh, flashes the Heartbreaker. Okay, Champion God finally has that range. Now turns into
He was
Ari.
almost fine temporarily for a little while, and then Viego was still Viego. Did have to use Flash at least. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, there's been a lot of attention being played to this mid lane the past 3 games, and X-Craze has not been able to weather that storm particularly well.
It is just a play safe mid angle.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one when you're constantly dealing with an enemy jungler in your area, similar to Blackpink.
I want to bounce off of that so bad, but I have absolutely no idea what that means.
Yeah. X-Craze trying to fight through this one. Revnon picked up a kill on Oriana during all of that. The bleed was just enough. Now X-Craze is able to get Champion got Axified, trying to fight his way on the other side of the fight. Nightmare gets pulled in and shut down by Revnon, and Elo IRS is going to fall as well. A double kill for both solo laners of ROTM, and they'll get the dragon at the end of this one. I'm assuming, unless that Smegma does something very remarkable here in the next couple of seconds. But it's 4 kills for Return to the Middlesticks, and they claw their way back in.
Yeah, that was, you know, kind of scattered, but very good for Return to the Middlesticks. Revnon just knowing for a fact that the 5 passive is going to bleed out Hamlet, doesn't get the reset on his ult because he doesn't need it.
That feels so bad. The triple auto attack electrocute proc from X-Craze.
Right? You are being disrespected. Please do not resist.
But yeah, really well played by Revnon, and I think importantly able to take down Hamlet before the fight starts, because if there's a shockwave in that fight, I think the health bars are enough to turn around for VITL, but because they get that assassination beforehand, it's very playable, and the team fight goes well.
And now, you know, at 4-1, you have lost a little bit of the CS advantage that you have, but you know, you're no less a terrorizing sideline threat for Revnon on this Darius.
Hamlet trying to get away, gonna get clipped by the True Shot Barrage now into the Charm, into the Freeze, and is there actually enough damage here? Hamlet trying his best to fight his way through. Puppy Jeff with the Bramble Smash kill though.
I think that's it. I think that's exactly why. I don't think the saplings are the problem. I don't even think the ult is the problem. I think Bramble Smash just does too much damage.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. Oh, Stebby gets a little greedy looking for some vision control and is immediately going to get picked for that.
Yeah.
That's unlucky.
Ouch.
That feels like you should
feels...
be able to do that as a support, but immediately punished by the Zyra Rakan champions. Teleport into bottom lane from Hamlet. X-Craze just trying to be annoying mostly, but Champion God is there, so I have to be kind of careful about how you manage this one.
Okay, minor amendment to my previous statement. Puppy GF did go for Demonic first, and so it's, you know, it's not that Bramble Smash shouldn't do any damage. I think it's probably its base damage for level is just a little bit too high, in my opinion. I don't know. It always feels like it hits a little bit harder at level 2 and 3 than it should.
Yeah, that's very brave of you to say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
VITL doing well to stabilize, though. They haven't had any silly things happen the last couple of minutes. They'll get a tower, clear out some of this jungle. X-Craze, unfortunately, hasn't done any damage yet, so... Oh, the dodges? The moves? Faker? Okay, yeah.
I mean, it was a valiant effort.
It's an unforced error from VITL as the pick happens, and Sheila gonna go into the pocket of Puppy GF, who will decide what tower she wants to kill. Excellent use of the ooh emote as well. That's what you love to see.
Sure. So,
if one has to use an ooh, you might as well use it correctly.
Right, exactly. Well, so it's sort of semi-quietly, Nightmare has worked himself back up to 4-1 decent farm on Xayah again. Echoes of game 2. A little bit closer on Return of the Middlesticks' side. Good thing too, because they're probably gonna need it.
Yeah, one of the things we could have said during the open that should be pretty evident, they do not scale as well as VITL does, so...
Yeah, very true. They simply don't.
So you really want to have to be even, if not ahead, at this stage of the game if you're RTM, and they're even, and they really need a big fight to here around the 2 to 3 item mark, or otherwise this is going to start to be very difficult to play.
Okay, who am I remembering who's like a top 3, top 5 ADC in either China or Korea, but they're like the best Ezreal on the planet. They're just like cracked on that character specifically.
I mean, Doggo's
That was
kind
a
of like
really
that
nice
one. That was a
charm.
good charm onto Champion God. I can't really follow that one up, unfortunately, but it did burn the Heartbreaker, which is nice to have burned. Revnon gonna get spotted here. He's got to zip away with his Ghost. This is a very tenuous fight. Now Rift Herald gonna be dropped in mid lane. Axified is still there. He can contribute a little bit. Big apprehend over the wall into the True Shot Barrage. That's a lot of extra damage, but the Shockwave is big to stall the fight out. Hamlet trying to get that damage through, and now the Unstoppable Onslaught into the backline immediately onto X-Craze. They're just trying to delay, but Revnon is dunking through. They get 2 kills. Elo IRS low just doesn't quite get tagged by any of those Ezreal Qs. Axified frontlining now as Ezreal trying to find any damage that he can. Puppy GF is going to start up the dragon now. Hamlet still has that chunk damage over the wall, so you have to be very careful about how that happens. And it's 2 for 0, and they'll get the mid lane tower. Revnon is just pushing with Sheila right now while the dragon is going on. They'll get 2 towers in mid, and the dragon RTM flip the gold lead back to about 1,000 in their favor.
That's one of those really, really rare scenarios where you're winning on both of your... I don't quite think sides of the map is the right way to put it, but you're winning on both plays that are happening. And that always feels really, really good, because it can be such an important mid-game swing.
Yeah, I don't want to say it couldn't have gone better for RTM, because I think there were some opportunities to get a couple more kills, but like... both plays succeeding and getting the extra gold and the dragon, that's a good day out on the trading platform.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Your Ezreal's walking back out into mid. You're really close to your 2-item spike. Your tier is fully stacked.
Revnon's got Dead Man's Plate, so he's looking to chase some folks down.
Yeah, it's a little interesting because if you're ever close to killing Scion in the side lane and you don't have flash, he just ults away from you and you don't get to interact with the character anymore. So I don't know who it is that you're chasing. Maybe you're chasing down Hamlet in the side lane. That feels like it's kind of suicidal as well.
I think it's just all around like a generally good item to have.
It is for sure. I'm a little curious about why second item specifically. I suppose it feels more like a 3rd or 4th item type of pick, in my opinion.
It's also just cheap, and you had the money, so.
That is valid. It is a very
Spike
inexpensive
feels
way
good.
to get. Yeah, it's a very inexpensive way to get 300 health, 45 armor.
And you can chase down Hamlet in the side lane sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it feels like you probably also need Ghost, but you definitely can, for sure.
And you can chase down Nightmare eventually as well, which is, I think, going to be an important interaction that we'll see, unfortunately. But for now, RTM kind of looking, given the team comps, you really want to see a big team fight win here around this Baron and kind of start to snowball the game out of control here in the next couple of minutes if you can. And as you see that RTM kind of grouping up around the Baron area with Revnon split in a side
lane. There's absolutely no reason to do that.
Yeah, well, the damage chart looks better.
Yeah, that's true. Your CC score improves.
Yeah, Champion God gonna get spotted on that non-hallowed mist, the opposite of hallowed. The ugly mist.
The ugly, desanctified mist confirmed.
Ron the sanctimonious mist. Rivdon goes in and the teleport comes out of Elo IRS. Maybe a counter engage here from VITL. They found Stebby isolated just on the outside. Stebby is going to fall a lot faster than Elo IRS will, which is kind of what sets up this fight here. The dunk comes through from Revnon, as now he'll get the resets and the extra bleed procs. Puppy Jeff onto the backline. X-Craze is the only one that gets pulled in by the Shockwave. Everyone playing at close range. Oh my goodness, the damage from the Noxian Guillotine is able to reset through that fight. And an extra kill for Return of the Middlesticks. 2 for 1, and now they'll head to the Baron.
Yeah, I did a Baron. There is no ult way in for Champion God. There is no Shockwave to follow him, so this is going to be a tough contest slash steal attempt. Not impossible, but getting an opening kill for Viego here is going to be a tall order.
Our team doesn't do this Baron very fast.
Nope.
With these champions, that's maybe a downside of the comp that they've picked, but instead they're just going to find the jungler, and then it doesn't matter. Stebby is going to 1v1 Hamlet, because why not? And that's going to assure that nothing's going to happen to that Baron. They get smited nicely by Puppy GF, and ROTM takes a 3,500 gold lead, and the game plan is starting to stack up nicely for Return of the Middlesticks. Now you're looking for a big Baron push, and to try to extend your gold lead even more, maybe Revnon can find a pick here. Maybe he walks into 3 people. It's a 50-50. You gotta flip that
maybe
coin
he's
sometimes.
maybe he's level 15 Darius, and when he walks into 3 people, they all run. Because I think that's a time, not necessarily the timeline we're gonna get, but it is a timeline that can happen.
Yeah, RTM looks for this dragon as going to be the next source of contention on the map. Champion God just spawned, so he's actually on the opposite side of the rift. It looks like this is just a straight give angle, or maybe a very cheeky steal from Set Smegma, but yeah, that's...
Yeah, and when it is this kind of give angle, it feels not quite as bad as spending some of your Baron time taking it, because honestly, with that many people on it, that dragon just drops immediately. You're not wasting that much time. It's when you do like a dragon dance and the game's a lot closer that it feels like a big waste.
Yeah, and now they set Revnon up in this bottom lane. He'll take this tower before too long. God, that's a lot of damage. It doesn't feel like...
Yeah, he's got the Triforce and the W. It drops real quick.
I just like
nice
Puppy Jeff
Banshee
just
trail, bro.
launching Stebby. Cargo space. Karma go space. No, Karma no do that.
Karma go rough.
Oh, X-Craze with the real gameplay. The cannon minions outside the tower range.
I quote that meme all the time, and my friends never understand what I'm talking about.
Well, I've got you, luckily, and I've now set it on an official cast, so it's a canon event. Oh, a couple of these towers whittled away. Baron should be up before too long here. One of these times I'm going to learn how long Baron buff actually lasts. 2.5, I think. So we still have another minute.
I think you're right about that, yeah.
I don't know that for sure. That's just like a gut feeling.
I mean, I've never bothered to figure it out myself either. I just know when I look at the little icon, roughly how much time it has left.
Yeah, this is why I'm stuck in whatever league I'm stuck in currently. I'd tell you, but I'm unranked. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys are playing ranked.
Imagine queuing up for ranked solo duo queue in the current year.
It feels really weird. This upcoming season, I've switched to support, and every game I have in the past 3 or 4 seasons is on top lane, so nobody's gonna have any idea how to scout me. Of course, that doesn't matter because I'm in silver. They don't scout me.
Yeah, I have been playing AD with one of my friends, but previously top lane main. Yeah, it's weird times. I've also never played more than like 30 games of solo queue. Set Smegma takes a lot of damage. Ooh, the True Shot Barrage! He tried to flash it, but just flashed back into it, which is a little unfortunate. Charm on Scion over the wall. We're just supporting Revnon pushing, which, yeah. Shockwave just to try to deter him, but it isn't much deterrence overall, and another tower gonna fall on the bottom side of the rift for ROTM. That'll be it for the Baron buff, and they have 2 minutes now before potential Ocean Soul, which I think will feel kind of nice, but I don't know that it ultimately really helps them. This isn't like a poke siege comp that they're against. It's very AoE Wombo style, so if you get blown up, Ocean Soul doesn't really help when you get blown up.
No, the The only thing that Ocean Soul feels like is like a potential eventuality is Revnon getting to live in a 1v3 1v4 way longer than he probably has any right to, which is already a like late game Darius trope. Anyway, so
Yeah, and I mean,
we'll see.
it makes people overall tankier, but I just don't know that it's like, oh my god, they have Ocean Soul like it is some games.
Right? How are we supposed to play into this? It's not Ocean Soul GG go next type of comp.
I mean, it's kind of the other way. Like they're denying it from VITL, who I think if they did have Ocean Soul, you can weather the Ezreal and Ahri poke and like not get completely bursted, and it makes it so much harder to play for RTM. Is just to throw out the example, but yeah,
what I think is interesting in this particular situation is that we've got a 5-second differential between the dragon spawn for Radom Soul Point and the Baron, and that would be a great opportunity for a team who takes Baron fairly quickly to try and look for a trade.
X-Craze just decided he didn't want any more blind skill shots over the wall. I'm gonna get out of there, which is fair. Puppy GF looking for set Smegma. That's the Rakan champions, so he's got a couple more dashes. Has to burn them all though.
Yeah, and the
And I mean,
the
you didn't burn
Shirelias,
anything. Like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you really didn't use anything.
Axe
You
has to be
kept ult, too.
careful. Now Champion God on him, gets the shield though from Stebby. In comes the True Shot Barrage, and now Champion God in a world of hurt is Axified, able to take him down. They'll pick off Stebby on the other side, but the damage is kind of done. Nightmare very low, has to escape the fight. Axified? Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Give me some fruit.
he's fine.
Yeah, he's just fruit maxing.
I'm never ready. I've been casting with you for like 5 years. I'm never prepared for you to toss something out like that.
I read this meme today about it's this nice looking black kid in a top hat and a like suit that like has all these pockets on it, and the top comment is telling him to get some normal clothes, and the guy below that is just like, what? No, what do you want him to wear? Like a hoodie and a snapback? No, that man Wonka maxing. You can't go
That man is
against that
Wonka
one.
maxing.
And
Wait, you get? Oh no, well, man, I ran across this, and the way that he describes it is hilarious. It's like, sick people or something like that who would want him to give up drip like this. My man's Wonka maxing. What are you gonna do?
you know,
What are you gonna say?
I've been looking for a Wonka maxing angle, but I don't know that there necessarily is one while casting League of Legends. A lot of pings going down onto Revnon right now. This might be a Revnon for Baron trade that's shaping up, but Revnon is going to preempt that by just teleporting away. Oh, he's not teleporting. That was just a recall. The purple things in the recall were kind of throwing me off. He's fine. He's just going to zoom away. How is that man so fast? Oh, he ghosted. Okay. I was like, God, he's really fast.
Goes, but also, like, nobody was on the same page, so Elo IRS just blows ult. They're all, like, sort of hanging around Revnon in the general vicinity, and then return the Middlesticks 4-man's Baron for free. So that doesn't feel great if you're a VITL fan, and suddenly this game isn't something to feel super great about if you're a VITL fan. Like, you're supposed to win this, eventually, but I don't know how, because like you have to get to so many more item breakpoints before this game is truly like a hey, our team comp doesn't scale very well angle.
Yeah, Revnon just trying to set up this wave. It'd be nice if he could get that to crash at the same time, but it looks like we're going to be a little desynced, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately there isn't many ways in the game to buff minion movement speed. And they took out they took out some other items that made minion pushing better because those metas weren't fun to watch. So.
Oh God, do you remember the really broken banner of command meta
Yeah, the 2-week banner of command where it was actually impossible to kill.
Yeah, Revnon is fighting a 1v3. This is exactly what we... Oh my goodness. What we were hyping up, and he delivers on it with the kill onto Champion God. And now Puppy GF flies into the backline with the Bramble Smash. The damage coming through from X-Craze. They can't quite find Nightmare on the Charm, but it doesn't matter because all those cooldowns have now been blown defensively. And RTM continues pushing in. 2 inhibitors fall. The... triple siege minion threat on the bottom side comes in. Revnon hooks in Elo IRS. Not quite enough damage yet. One Nexus tower is going to fall. Into the backline goes Rakan. Stabby low, has to flash away from the fight, but that doesn't really matter because Elo IRS is going to fall to Axified, and now kiting away from Zombie Scion as he'll get a couple of Heartsteel stacks. But can they actually kill these minions? They'll get the knock-up onto X-Craze, but do they have the damage? Axified's still doing so much damage on the back of that fight. Nightmare's down. Hamlet and Set Smegma trying to defend the Nexus, but they cannot! And it's a 2-1 win for Return of the Middlesticks Crowstorm.
Really nicely played out by the end of that game. Return of the Middlesticks got their lead and then didn't fumble it at all, pretty much. Back-to-back dragons, couple Baron takes, an Ocean Soul Darius in the side lane doing whatever it is we just watched.
Yeah, there were a couple of war crimes committed, I'm sure. I mean, there's a lot of bleeding happening, so I'm sure there were. Yeah, really impressive
triangle bayonet wound can't be stitched. Something like that. Yeah,
that's a punch up from Return of the Middlesticks now, taking down one of the noble teams after I, spent the opening 5 minutes of the game railing about the.
I am a huge fan of the
format.
one person in chat who said VITL.
VITL? Oh, that's Akuma's manager, Akuma Blades. We'll play them next week, which is a good segue. Yeah, next broadcast is going to be Thursday night for Crowstorm versus Akuma Blades, or Tuesday night, excuse me. I've done that like 3 times now. I don't know why. I even did it in my message to Mr. Cafe. It's Tuesday night, the 5th of September. I don't know that I'm going to be around to do that one, so we may or may not have a stream for that. And then the next game after that is going to be Star Nemesis back next Friday. They had the week off for Labor Day for some reason. So,
huge.
That's going to do it for us. Yeah, that's going to do it for us tonight. I was trying to think if there was anything else to say. I don't think there is. We're going to raid somebody. I do not have many choices. We're going to raid Titan Esports, I guess. Oh, no,
that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Never mind.
Nope.
We're going to raid Ikeda. Go watch Ikeda.
There it is.
He's playing cards.
Man played.
He's playing Legends of Runeterra, to be clear. The superior Cardstone game. But, we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Never prepared.